Jan Wayne Swayze presents the FREE99 podcast. Be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Twitch, Instagram, and...
Nah, fuck. We have a TikTok, but it's fucking weird,
It's
dog.
okay.
Yeah.
Add it if you can find us.
If you find us, add it.
Shout out to all the sponsors.
All of the sponsors.
Shout all the listeners.
We hear you.
Jan in the building.
Shout out the sponsors. You got to shout out the sponsors.
Yeah.
Shout out all the sponsors.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. You know who
Shout
you are.
them out.
Yeah.
Let's just say future sponsors.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Fill in the gap.
Geller Library, thank you for the sponsor.
Yes. Jan
Jolly
in the
Bees.
building.
Alright, Malking Katawan.
Hey,
Oh, shit, he's
JD
speaking
Fresh in the building.
What's up, all the FREE99ers out there?
Hey.
FREE99.
Cool Mo B in the building.
Is it normal for my mic for me to go down when I'm talking? Is that what it is too?
I mean-
are you doing that, Jan?
Did they buy you dinner?
Okay, cool. So we got one shot, and then the mic goes in and out. Okay, cool. We're here.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's still here, still here.
It's big budget over here, guys.
Shout out to Rommel in the building.
Uncle's ice grilling me. Oh, you not feeling me? Fine. Cost you nothing. Pay me no mind. Look, I'm on my grind, cousin. Ain't no time for fronting. Sensitive thugs, y'all all need hugs.
Is that like the intro to the show?
Kinda.
That's what's up.
It's my thing.
I'm the good homie Gus,
It's my
customer
thing.
service on episode 197.
Ooh.
197 of the FREE99 podcast. Justin's gonna shout out to the sponsor.
Dos Caras Tequila, man. Shout out Dos Caras, man. And they one of my sponsors for the Western Conference podcast. Dos Caras Tequila.
And
Does everything sound like a commercial?
That's just my voice.
yeah.
All right.
As Justin's pouring out, Rommel, please introduce whose presence is very much felt in the first 10 seconds of the podcast. Please introduce
All right.
my brother here.
Friends aired from 1994 to 2004. That's 10 years.
Damn.
Seinfeld, 1989 to 1998. That's 9 years. If white comedy series is not your thing, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 1990 to 1996.
That's still white comedy, but go ahead.
6 years, right? The Cosby Show, 1984 to 1992. It's 8 years.
Bill Cosby.
Our guest tonight has been at it consistently
Come on.
from the early 2000s to 2023 right
Man.
now.
There he is.
20 plus years.
There he is.
We're talking Simpsons numbers.
Man.
He was made for this. Ask his family. Shit. Ask him. He was named after his uncle, who was an entertainer from the islands. R.I.P. OG Cisco.
Man.
From motivational speaker to curating music, hosting the Western Conference podcast.
There it is.
This man creates the vibe worldwide. From New Zealand to the Bay Area to cruising the fucking seas on the Jamrock cruise. Now repping the Bay to the fullest all around Las Vegas.
Man.
Sheesh. Ask yourself,
talking about me?
how
Motherfucker.
how can this man continue to do this for 20 plus years? Authenticity. To put quite simply, there is no persona to uphold.
Man.
No faking the funk. No mask to wear in public. Fuck numbers or views or likes. He knows who he is and what he presents. And that is the true island vibe.
Shit.
It is my goddamn pleasure,
Please.
on behalf of the FREE99 podcast,
Come on, Rommel.
to present a big body yaddy Cisco.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Cisco.
Shit.
Shout out to Big Body Cisco on the episode 197 of FREE99 podcast. Cisco. Thank
Is
you.
that, I feel like
Thank
that's
you.
what it's going to sound like when I'm in my casket. Like that's going to be the eulogy. I mean, god damn.
I mean, I'm gonna need royalties though.
Because I'd be in my casket and be like, hey, you talking about me? Is that me?
I'm back. Here I am. I'm back.
We here at the FREE99 podcast like to give flowers to those while they can smell them.
Yes, absolutely. We here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And you know, it's easy to see now the footprint that you kind of created for yourself because you put in a lot of work. What people
Man.
don't see is, you know, I'm talking about F&A days.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about blush days.
Absolutely.
People don't know the footwork you had to do. A lot of, like, if you were at a party in the 2000s and Cisco was there, and there wasn't an
lying.
MC, he'd walk up to the DJ booth
Straight
and be
to him.
like, "Hey, let me get a mic. I'm your hype man tonight."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's on the headphones.
Off top. Wouldn't even know the DJ's name half the time.
All the time, actually.
Yeah, more. But he created that, and he created that lane for him. So a lot of free hours in.
Yeah.
A lot
of free hours.
A lot of free hours in.
10,000 hours.
Everything that you're seeing now is not just because he moved to Vegas and got popping. No. There was a lane that he was creating for himself during all this happening. So it was very important. Like every time you touch down, I was like, "Hey, are you in town? Let's connect." Like
absolutely.
I've been wanting to have this moment with you for so long because seeing the growth for you, like, it's been intense. Like I remember, I think one of your first like DJing gigs was at, correct me if I'm wrong, Walnut Creek True.
Yes, man, the nut. We called it the nut.
Walnut Creek True, right next to the 7-Eleven.
Yes.
I remember,
I'm all about the nut for sure.
like, because in tandem it was was it a Black Friday sale? Or
Yeah,
was
it was a
sale?
sale or it was an anniversary or something, but true. But you gotta imagine they had. that was one of my first gigs, but
Yeah.
I'm DJing with like shortcut,
Yeah.
my emotion, and where it could be intimidating to some. I was like, look, I'm a music lover like them. I may not have the technicality like them, but I know my music sense is just right along with them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Vibe creator.
absolutely.
Man.
And then because once you're amongst those giants, right?
Yeah.
And it's your
Legends, man.
first DJ gig. Like, it's not like you came to the table. I remember
Yeah.
being there and I was like, Cisco's doing this shit right now.
Man, it was a vibe.
That was a fresco.
And I said it was because all I had to do was bring the vibe.
Yeah.
If I play the right music, it doesn't matter how I presented it because Short's gonna cut it up.
Yeah,
my
that's
emotion's
his
gonna
shit.
do what he do. All
That's
the
his
DJs that
Yeah.
were already legendary in their own right, they're looking at me like, what the fuck Cisco doing? You know what I mean?
You're funny.
And yeah, I mean that's what like the charisma alone, because like you said, it comes from way back where, I mean, let's not get it twisted. Before the early
Talk
days,
about
I
it.
was there was a lot of fights I used to get into.
Oh.
Whether I was knocking somebody out.
Shout
or if
out
I
to the
was-
mob.
Shout
out to the mob.
Can I dive deep into my core memory?
Yes,
with you, Doug?
yes, please.
All right, so here it is.
Let's take it back.
These are flowers for you, so you
Yes.
guys let us cook for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. So here I am, Alta Loma, husky, a little handsome. You know, I'm still learning. Little handsome.
So we're talking the Altaloma story now.
Alta Loma story right now.
Shit.
All right.
Hold on,
and-
as long as I don't get arrested for this.
Barely.
motherfucker.
No, I
It's
think
like
it's a
5 years.
Yeah, no,
right?
no. It's
Ah,
like
we're
what is
good.
it? Yeah. The
5
statute
years.
limitation.
They were good.
Yeah. So here it is, right? There happens to be some funk with the white rocker kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I went to school with his sister Salote. Amazing person. Shout out to Salote.
Shout
Miss-
Shout out,
out.
little sis, man.
Shout out
Shout
to
out.
you, little sis. And something happened. There's some sort of a ruckus or commotion.
Yeah.
And Salote got hit.
Yes.
Right. Bloody nose.
Bloody nose.
And I'm like, holy shit, as I'm walking up to the gate. And who do I see? This bronze skin knight coming towards us like a boulder.
Yeah.
Just,
Do you remember what he was wearing?
I'm guessing a talty.
It was definitely a tall team.
Yeah, talty, maybe Timberlands himself.
Yeah, I mean, Nuck if you buck was in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, he basically put it on these kids. And that was my first, that was like the legend of Cisco for me.
Well, we'll give you some context for it
Give it
first.
to 'em.
So, you know, if anybody has a little sister, she's the youngest of us. She's our younger sister. Like, she's the only female in our family.
Wow.
At this point. So, you got 4 brothers. So, she had called us and, you know, she was like, oh, I'm getting into it. So,
Probably
the first,
paged you.
Yeah, I think it was a page or something. So when we had got the thing, I called her and she said, come to the school now. And me and my brothers like, what's going on? So when me and my brothers went there, we didn't know what to expect. But when you see your little sister with a bloody nose, I don't care who is around.
Yeah.
It's
You
red.
gonna go
It's
get-
red.
So,
Yeah.
and that's what happened. We seen our sister and we seen blood and we seen red. So when that
Yeah.
happened, we didn't care who did it. Anybody that was in our way was gonna get it.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about teachers, custodians,
Mr. Delorio.
principals, everybody. We stormed through that school in regards of protecting our sister.
Absolutely.
And it was like everybody was gonna know by the time we left there, whether the police came or not. Well, the police did come, but we
You
were
guys are
sitting
pretty
there.
fast. Yeah, you guys- yeah.
We were defending our sister.
Yeah.
And we went in there. We made sure we told our sister, and she just pointed in like a common area.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "She pointed here."
I was opposite direction. I was like, oh, thank God.
So when my sister points, me and my brothers just went to straight wherever that area was at.
Yeah.
And just and it was just big brother shit at
It
that
was,
point.
and it was necessary.
Yeah.
It was also the first time there was a rugby team at Alta Loma.
Because
The only time, the one and
The
only time.
only time.
We wanted to make a statement. We wanted to say, okay, if this does happen, if that ever happened again, they'll know that you can't fuck with my sister and not have repercussions.
Yeah,
For sure. I
absolutely.
mean, I'm 40 now. I still remember that statement like every other day, though.
Oh, because the principal had us come back to the school and wanted us to apologize over the intercom. I said, yeah, we're not doing that.
And that's when you're
not gonna
that's when you're
happen.
like, you know what? My voice is pretty good for radio.
Yeah, you know, it's like, hey, by the way, we're sorry.
By the way,
for
tequila.
beating up
Yeah,
7
exactly.
kids, custodians, and teachers. But we had wrote a statement, and they had read our statement over the thing. But it was just in our Polynesian culture, it's all about you take care of each other, whether it be your sister, whether it be your brothers. If one gets knocked down, everybody's gonna get knocked down at the repercussion.
Yeah.
So it was just at that point in time, we would drop anything for our sister. And whether with her husband now, like if you were dating our sister, it was a hard time to kind of get
yeah.
with the brothers.
Yeah.
So just in the Polynesian culture,
like an
Tongans-
internship,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, You're probationary period, people like to call it.
Yeah, a lot of push-up contests.
Yeah, so it's like that whole situation went down, and of course it's like a tall tale. So it's
Yeah.
like it's almost folklore at
Yeah, I
this
think
point.
he came in a horse. Yeah. It's crazy.
So I came and I had my staff and then I put it into the ground, but it was just more of defending the honor of our sister, of seeing some blood from my sister. Somebody gonna get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
apparently everybody got it.
everyone can relate with that, but also that's a great transition to the Polynesian culture, right?
Yes.
Protect the tribe.
Absolutely, at all
right?
times.
Everybody eats.
Yeah.
You live by that.
Let me just want to touch on that real quick as far as like the Polynesian culture. A great friend of mine, Tapeti Paini.
Yeah. Shout out Petsy, man.
Shout out Pet, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Pet.
He told me the first time he met you, I think he was in high school, and it was a house party in
Yeah.
South San Francisco. And allegedly,
These are all coming out right
you
now.
and a handful of cousins,
Yeah.
5 or less, showed up, kicked like 15 people's asses, and then left calmly.
I mean, you have to understand this. Like back in the day, I'm gonna give you the context for this.
This is like a Chris Hansen moment,
Exactly.
right?
You gotta understand. Like, I'm
Oh, so
trying to
why are
explain
you here?
myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, fine.
Please. Try to play it 20 years ago. Like.
So what it was like back in the day, like right now, there's a lot of unity between Tongans and Samoans, and now there's a lot of people that are either Tongan Samoan kids. But back then, when we was growing up, it was Tongans versus Samoans.
Yeah.
and it wasn't always a cool little story like, oh, we could be friends. Nah, it was on site.
Yeah.
So whether it was Tongans at a party where we would find out we're Samoan kids, and we found out there was a Tongan party going on, we're gonna go to that Tongan party and try to just push
Crash.
our weight around,
Yeah.
and just try to do what we do. And it went like that back and forth between the peninsula, San Mateo.
Yeah.
All the Tongans were in San Mateo, all the Samoans were in South City, San Francisco.
Yeah.
So
Shay's like made at like Burlingame.
yeah, I mean, so and everywhere in the peninsula
Bayshore.
where
Yeah.
that was our weekend. We would figure out where our ops, where they call the kids all ops now.
Yes.
And wherever they
Young
were,
ones.
we would go there and challenge them, and vice versa. They would come challenge us, and it would go on for years.
And I bring that up because Tapeti's Tongan,
Yeah,
right? And what he says now is for what you are bridging, like it was real. His words were between the polys, it was real shaky.
Yeah.
Within islands, but with what you've been doing, like creating your own lane
Yeah.
with this island vibes, you actually unified a lot of polys in the Bay
Yeah.
Area, worldwide possibly,
Yeah.
because you created this platform where you're pushing everyone that's of descent, right? Of the same ocean, and I have to ask, are Filipinos Pacific Islanders?
I do it like this. I love my Filipinos. I got 2 Filipino baby mamas, but just because you go to Hawaii doesn't mean you're Hawaiian.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that, bro.
So I say this respectfully, is like they're in the Pacific Islands, so I consider them Pacific Islanders.
Okay.
So that's why I say it like that. But don't come over
You heard
here.
that, guys? Yeah.
Don't come over here. Just be like, "What's up?" Who's to start talking Samoan and Hawaii? Like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
wait a minute,
Yeah,
guys.
you can't just start to do the haka.
But
right?
what's
While he's waiting in line at the airport.
acceptable is that how we grew up, the diversity.
Yeah.
It's true,
in the
yeah.
Bay Area.
Yeah.
It was like Filipinos. We all stuck together.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, those are the Islanders there. Those are the blacks over there. Mexicans over here. Whites over here. So we kind of all got with each other.
Like jail, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Everyone
jail.
wiggled,
Exactly like
but
jail.
as far
Yeah.
as like jail or like lunch, right? That's
Yeah.
where everyone you
Yes.
see everyone kind of conjugating to their own. Unless they were football players, then they would all be in one row.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Lined up.
yeah, true. But
Waiting for the hike. Yeah, exactly.
absolutely, that's definitely how it was. And Tapeti was like, you were like like you were like the Kickstarter that blended everyone together because all the festivals you've been a part of.
But I think it boils down to this, where it's like when they seen somebody like myself that back in the day used to fight Tongans.
Yeah.
We used to fight each other all the time, but now we can come together at an event,
Shout out to my
and the
Tongans.
same people that we fought are now wanting to take pictures and kind of having a good time. Where at first your defense mechanism was like, hold on, I fought this dude before.
Yeah.
And so does he want to get some get back? And what I've learned is like the older you get, the more respect. I mean, we all come Tongans and Samoans. We come from respectful, family-oriented families.
Right.
So we was just defending our culture as Samoans. They were defending their culture as Tongans. But then you start getting the crossbreeds. Then you got like our sisters and brothers kind of seeing each other. So Tapeti, his sister is married to my brother Frisco. So plot twist. So it's like, you kind of get the Samoans hooking up with the Tongan girls, Tongan guys hooking up with the Samoan girls. So now they're kind of crossbreed. Now they got kids. So once they start having kids, now they're starting to come up, and now their kid is Tongan and Samoan. So now you got to kind of teach them both sides of the culture, where it's Tongan here for the father or the mother, or it's Samoan here.
Right.
But you're still in this big circle of being the culture of being Polynesian. And I think what I kind of learned going up through the years, where it was like as bad as Bloods and Crips. That's how bad it was.
I
Did you,
remember.
like, doing so, right? Approaching these kind of like fights and everything, you knew why you were fighting.
Well, we fought because we thought it was cool to defend the Samoan honor, right? We're Samoan.
Did you
we're
know,
gonna go fight the Tongans.
Did you know like the history behind like the conflict? And
No,
everything?
because we had our own stories. Like, we always say, hey, Mom, why do we hate Tongans or vice versa?
Yeah.
Then they would have the big old, folklore trail.
Many
Oh,
moons,
we were slaves to them or vice versa.
Right.
Well, we just kind of made our own assumption.
Yeah, you're like,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
whatever.
They said fuck y'all, so we're saying fuck them.
Yeah.
So, but it just kind of
East Side Story, right?
Yeah.
West Side Story. Yeah.
And that's how it boils down to, where it wasn't just me. It was like, shout out to my Usos in San Jose, Drew Deasy, Cam, who kind of had this Toko Uso movement, where Toko means brother in Tongan, and Uso means brother in Samoan.
Wow.
So it's more accepted here in the Bay Area because Tongans and Samoans can kind of get along. You go down to SoCal with that. It's different. Because the gang life out there is loud. Because that's what happened before I came to the Bay. Me and my brothers were in Long Beach before we moved to the Bay Area, where we lived with, all of our Crip cousins, and we were supposed to be part of SOS. And we were supposed to be. So Mom and Dad kind of caught wind of that. It's like, nah, I don't want our kids to be in that gang lifestyle. So we moved to the Bay Area, and we seen the diversity out here, where it was like, okay, we can kind of get along with the Tongans if we, because then you start playing football. Then you have Tongan teammates.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of playing together. It's like, okay, this is a brotherhood when you're on a football team.
Yes, sir.
So now we kind of got to put each other's differences aside, where it's kind of saying, okay, we can play together, but it's crazy because once you play a sport and you kind of put that into what real life is, where shit, we move better together.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think growing up and seeing the kids that, we were sneaking behind, going with the Tongan girl, the Tongan guys. So we kind of crossbreeded, where it was all about the culture now.
Yeah.
Polynesian, not just Tongan and Samoan. And then the more, because we're all from the States.
Yep.
A lot of us were raised in the States, so there's a different perception of how Polynesians are in the States and how Polynesians are back home on the island.
Okay.
Whether it be Tonga, whether it be Samoa, there's a difference. Oh, okay, so the people on the islands like, oh yeah, you guys are the Americanized polys.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Same thing with Filipino.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, oh, you live
We're
in the
not
States, so
authentic.
exactly.
We're not,
So we had to live with that, especially being in the Bay Area, where it was like, okay, are we authentic Samoan? Are we authentic? Where my mom and dad grew up by speaking English as our first language.
Right.
So it wasn't spoken in the house where I could speak it fluently. You know what I mean? So if I go to Samoa, if I go to a function and I talk to her, like, oh, he talks black. It's like, nah, I don't talk black. That's just the way I talk. Because that's where I was raised from. So when I go down back to LA, in the Bay Area, we always say blood. Oh, blood.
Yeah.
But in
That's
LA,
very much a Bay thing.
it's a Bay thing, but when you go back to Long Beach and all my cousins are Crips,
Do that.
you can't ride with that. Me and my brother got calls like blood. They go, oh, keep like that blood was crook. You know what I mean?
You're there in the Niner jersey.
Yeah, so
well, once you see like the blue flannels, you're like, all right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when you start seeing the SOS tattoos and you say, okay, wait, our family's Crips, you can't really say the Bloods because that's what we are. So you got to kind of know where you're at the time.
Yeah.
And it just boils down to where we started seeing these platforms of entertainment where during that whole thing was going on, my whole thing was kind of say, look, I want to be in this entertainment realm.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford the 1200s. I couldn't afford the turntables, but I loved music. I was raised on music.
Yeah.
My mom and dad raised us on old school R&B. You know, we found old school hip hop, and all we knew was like old school R&B because we would drive from LA to the Bay every other weekend, and those 8-hour trips at the time used to be music lessons for us.
Yeah.
Cassette
So I
tapes.
soaked it all up. Manhattan, Shy Light, Stylistics, all these things we
Love
was
that.
being
Yeah,
raised
yeah,
on. And it's like I was singing that as a kid. So as I grew older, I appreciated music more. I appreciated the Stevie Wonders. I appreciated the Teddy Pendergrass.
That's like the birth of feel good right there.
Feel good music. I was always a feel good music dude. So when people talk about island reggae, and I said, no, I was raised on old school R&B and hip hop. Because we were buying the cassette singles. We was buying the East Coast hip hop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We was buying all that stuff because we were fans of music.
Right.
We was making the mixtapes with the pause here, the two with the down.
Absolutely.
So, and then we came in and we kind of heard Bay Area radio with Chewy Gomez and everyone that was on the radio. Like we kind of when listening to that, I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that, but I didn't have the opportunity that they had. But I was like, I could definitely get into this space. So that was kind of something to me to say, okay, challenge yourself to kind of say, how do I get in that space? How do I go to the club? Okay, these guys are DJs.
Were you offered an on-air gig?
You know, when Chewy
almost.
Yes. Because when Chewy had went
I'm
away,
already hearing this.
there was a few people at the station was like, sis, you could just come to do this. You have a good
Was it like
personnel.
Clear Channel? K-Mail?
So there was a bunch of people saying, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but with Chewy out of there's an opening there. But of course, there's that
was recent then.
Yeah, there was interns that were already there that put in the work. Because that's how it went. It was the kind of like the thing of command.
Pecking order, yeah.
You were on the street team. You were an intern. You kind of
Shout out
made
to the
your way
street
up.
team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, let me just beeline straight for the talent spot. So of course everybody frowned upon that. I was like, hold on, you got to do A, B, C, and D first. You can't just go straight to the top.
Yeah.
So of course during that time, that's when people were always on their phones. So I kind of just got hip to the game. I was okay. Not that radio was dead, but radio, there's going to be a transition.
It was definitely different.
And I was like, we got to get into this podcast space or whatever podcasting at the time was. I said, look, I could do my own radio show on my own time. And that was the birth of Big Body Radio. Yeah. So Big Body Radio was like, okay, I don't need K-Meal. I don't need all these other ones.
What year was Big Body Radio?
Big Body Radio was, I want to say, I might be off, but 2010?
Didn't you also almost get offered... Was it the Q? Was it Q102?
Yes. So it was because when Q102 came about, they're looking for new DJs. I was like, man,
that was the second opportunity, right?
Second opportunity.
Yeah, bro, you're like Jordan is hating.
Man, and I was like a hot free agent because people knew me from the clubs.
That was it.
People knew me like, okay, he could talk. Yeah. He had the gift of gab, so just imagine what he could do on the radio. So I was like, you know what? But I seen it when Q102 came up, and I was like, okay, all the older heads that been in the game, they're not gonna let me get to the top. You know what I mean? Not that they were hating on purpose. They were like, nah, you didn't do A, B, and C, so why should you get that spot?
You saw that early.
And I just seen it because I knew the Chewy Gomez's, I knew the Big Vons, and I knew Mama, I knew everybody at the radio station because remember when I went to these clubs to go talk shit on the mic, I had to go through them to get to the mic.
Yep.
Right.
So I was like, Chewy, I was like, look over there. Rodney, look, I grabbed the mic. Hey, everybody. You know what I mean?
He's going to the bar? Oh, got it. I got it.
And that whole thing came from just not being able to be a DJ, but kind of say, okay, where was my space in
Finding
this club
your
scene?
space.
Right.
So I kind of stepped back and I was like, okay, where's my space? Okay, I can't. My emotion's doing that, so what's he doing? Okay, he's talking on the mic. So it wouldn't hit me till we went to Hawaii and my boy B-Cat from Oakland, he was on the mic just going at it. He knew every break.
Yeah.
He knew every, when the hook dropped, and he was like real precise with where his words were. It wasn't like the drunk motherfucker that just talked over the fucking whole song.
Yeah.
He knew where the break, he knew when to talk, he knew when to do it. So I said, okay, I need to be that.
There's an art to it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, everyone acts like they could get on the mic and just kind of do what they do. You have to know, first of all, you can't piss the DJ off.
Exactly.
And I pissed a lot of DJs off, but I said, okay, why are they getting pissed off?
Why?
I did my homework.
Give me an example of how you piss the DJ off.
Because I would grab the mic and they were like, oh, no. And then I'm like, fuck it. I would know the breaks, and right when the hook would come on, I would say, okay, do it like this, And they were like, okay. The DJ was like, oh, this motherfucker think he knows his shit. I know my shit because I knew the music. Right. But I could see other MCs that were on the mic too. They were just talking at the wrong time. They were talking in the middle of a verse. They were talking in the middle of a hook. And I was like, nah, there's precise breaks. The 4 bars, you got that much time to say it right until the beat comes in.
That's fucking impressive. Yeah.
And the right DJ will let you know, like, hey, you ready?
I mean, I walked up to DJ Quick. I walked up to pristine DJs and didn't give a fuck. Because I was like, I know my talent, and I know that, first of all, they ain't gonna do shit to me.
Yeah, it also helps that you're like towering over them. Yeah. What's up, DJ Quick?
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that right
And like
there.
I said, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't always perfect like that. There was times where I was drunk and I was the sloppy dude on the mic.
Right.
And I would get in the fights and be like, oh, say Cisco's gonna start a fight again.
Yeah.
Where look, I tell people all the time where I'm at now is a tribute to what you said. Coming up and the work that I had put in, like, I used to get in club fights every weekend. I used to make sure, because there was always street politics too. Oh, we don't like them motherfuckers. Okay, cool. So if that's a party, we got to do something. Or if you didn't do something, something had to be done.
Heard about it a couple times at the line at FNA in Burlingame.
Yeah, F Burlingame, Blush.
Damn, in Burlingame, dog.
It's a different time, y'all.
And that's when it was like, thank God social media wasn't around then.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
It was
Because I would probably be in prison.
barely Friendster. It was barely MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you'd be-
nothing live.
You'd be like the first radio host from prison, dog.
Yeah, I was like, well, we're here live from Cell Block 4.
They just served us cardboard. Yeah.
Sounds very steak today.
I mean, I think that's the thing, though, right? It's like all of these kind of bumps, right? They've kind of created you to who you are with the whole island vibe thing.
Yeah.
Was that your purpose to no? It just kind of came with the territory.
So, and I'll be honest with everybody. That island vibes and island reggae wasn't my choice.
I have a question.
It chose you.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you really like island? Like, if you were to rank your genres of music, where would island reggae be?
Towards the bottom.
Me too.
I mean, and it's not no
we're the
disrespect
same.
to anybody.
He's
but,
a little taller, but we're the same. dog.
Sheesh. I love it, everyone.
but now I love it. You know what I mean? Because it had to grow on me.
I
Because
still do not.
my first introduction to reggae was when we used to clean our room. My brother would play the Legend album from Bob Marley, and me and my brother Sam would be like, "Turn that shit off." You know what I mean? Like throw some hip hop or throw some R&B. Where
And this is probably your older brother playing.
no, this is my younger brother, my brother Carl.
Damn, bro.
But you know why he was
He's just
playing that?
trying to
Because he was
vibe.
smoking weed. So
Yeah,
it was like,
exactly.
okay, this motherfucker's smoking weed,
Yeah.
and he's listening to reggae. And Polynesians at the time, that was like the big thing for them was reggae.
Yeah.
All the Tongans,
Yeah.
they were listening to reggae. All the older Samoan dudes, they was listening to reggae.
Yeah.
Where, you know, me and my brother Sam, we grew up in the Carl Thomas and, you know, the R&B type stuff where we was listening
Carl Thomas,
to
dog.
I Wish.
Yeah.
So when I Wish from Carl Thomas came out, that's all I played because I wanted that to be it. But then my brother would come in with Three Little Birds from the Legend album. I was like, okay, what is this whole thing about? I started to go to family parties and kind of, okay, these bands are playing island reggae. These bands they're kind of like doing covers of reggae songs. So then it kind of picked me because when I was doing Big Body Radio, if you listen to Big Body Radio, I was doing just it was feel good music.
Yeah, feel good music.
And I
music.
coined it feel good music because I said, look, we don't have to pigeonhole it by saying, okay, we're just one genre.
Yeah.
And so look, I don't say we're like the creators of feel good music, but I like to say we were the early innovators of feel good music because I said if we say feel good music, it's any music that makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
So when we did that, I could play R&B, I could play some reggae, I could play some hip hop. It didn't matter what I played; it was feel good music.
Yep.
And it was anything
Did not
that made you
pigeonhole
feel good.
yourself.
So that's why I was like, look, let's not pigeonhole ourselves by saying we're a Polynesian station. What happened in the whole thing of that whole crossover was people knew I was Samoan.
Yeah.
They seen I had my own show.
Right.
That was a Samoan show.
So it kind of came with the
Absolutely.
territory, right?
Yeah.
It's like you were kind of like
Absolutely.
pinned with that responsibility.
They were like, dude, he's Samoan. The host is Samoan. Oh, so this is a Samoan. This is
Yeah.
for the Samoans.
Yeah.
This is for the polys. And then I was like, nah, not really, because I'm playing Miguel and I'm playing hip hop.
Yeah.
When I started learning about the island reggae artists, I said, okay, look, let me kind of flip it. These island reggae artists that are like J Boog at the time, Fiji. I said, let me play
out.
their music
Shout out to yours.
along with the mainstream music.
Yeah.
So I said, because to show our demographic, like you can be an artist and still sound and mix right in with these mainstream artists. So I was doing at the time, I was mixing J Boog with Miguel, and it was seamless. But there was all the artists that didn't have that production value when I tried to mix their song in with a mainstream song, night and day.
Yeah.
Because of the production value.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when I did that, I said, okay, look, you seen how it sounded on my show. Step your game up.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like how Boog had his production, right. Fiji had his production right.
Right.
Common Kings at the first time that it was right.
Shout out to Wash House.
Shout out to Wash House, all the family out there.
Who's
But
Wash
when
House?
they
Who's Wash
didn't,
House?
Wash House is one. Mac Dre. Shout out Jonas. Shout out everybody over there. But there
Prince
was,
Jonas.
yeah, man. Shout out Jonas, man. But there was heavy into the scene with Doobie,
Yeah.
and Doobie played football with my brother Fangalim at City
AKA
College.
Sugar Wolf?
Come on, Sugar Wolf was one of the. Hey, I'll tell you guys this that people that may not know, you may not know. Sugar Wolf could have been one of the best running backs in NFL.
And that's Mac Dre's favorite rapper.
Man, that's Mac Dre's favorite rapper.
Mac
And I'm
Dre's
talking
favorite
about-
rapper.
There's a song that my brother Fangad did on the Eyes on the Prize thing.
Shout out
and
to
it was
Eyes
with
on the
Sugar
Prize. I still
Wolf.
have that CD.
It was Sugar Wolf. Shout out Rodney, rest in peace to Rodney. But that just started showing our whole thing was saying, look, Polynesians could be in this mainstream game with the blacks, with the Mexicans and everybody. So if you go to Northern Ghetto Boys, they had this mixtape. We're like the only Samoan group that was on that. And it was called MOH 48. It was called Hardest Hitters. Go check it out. Northern Cali.
You see the tattoo.
And MOH was at Jefferson, and 48 was at South City, where me and my brothers were at. So we kind of came together because we were all family.
Yeah.
Shout out my brother Frisco. Shout out Ern. Shout out Silas. And we kind of said,
Shout
you guys
out.
are at Jefferson. We over
Shout
here. And then my older cousins, they were at Westmore, the Lafittes.
Yeah.
So the Lafittes were over there, and they're the one that introduced us to hip hop. So Mike Lafiti, my cousin Will Lafiti, rest in peace to both of them.
Shout out. Rest
we
in
were
peace.
at their house. They were babysitting us, and they threw on Brass Monkey from Beastie Boys.
Wow.
And I'm a music fan. I'm like, wait, what's that?
Yeah.
You hear that? Man,
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's not
wow.
your daddy's music, right? It's
So
not your parents'
they
music.
introduced us, and ever since then, I fell in love with hip hop.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a hip hop kid. I'm gonna be an R&B kid. Never did I ever think I was gonna be an island reggae dude. You know what I mean? It just so happened I got pigeonholed because I'm Samoan, that I happened to be in this space that's a Polynesian show.
Also, you're good at it, but then that also means that you're good at everything.
And I always say, the only reason I said it because I always mimicked everybody on the radio, what Chewy Gomez was doing, what everybody was doing at CMC. I used to watch MTV. I used to watch Big Tigger on Rap City.
Yes.
So I took a little bit from him, took a little bit from them. And I said, okay, how can I work this into what I'm trying to do? So everybody that influenced me, from Fab Five Freddy from UMTV Raps,
Wow.
the way he controlled everything, he had everybody at the palm of his hands. And I was like, I want to do that. And I just said, okay, how do I do that? And he was like, he was real precise with his words.
Yeah. Yep.
And he knew how to pronounce the words. He wasn't saying it all stupid. So when they look at a Samoan dude, they're thinking 5 shit's gonna come out of my mouth. He's not gonna know how to pronounce these rappers.
Right.
He's not gonna know how to pronounce these songs. And I did it, and I made sure, look, the clearer you talk, the more pristine and the more you're aggressive you are with the words,
Yes.
people are gonna listen.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of worked out for me, that when I got on the mic at the clubs, I'd do the same thing. Because now I'm in front of an audience.
Yep.
Every time I got in front of a mic, I'm in front of an audience. Whether it's 5 people to 5,000 people, I got to perform the same time every time.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of be the secret to my success.
I mean, I've been staring at you for like the last 20 minutes, so you do like command kind of like that attention, man.
I remember holidays when you were still here in the Bay, when Big Body Radio was in its early stages.
Yeah.
You do a sock drive.
Yeah.
I remember being in ceremony and you doing all this live.
Yeah.
Live
Wow.
at
I would set up the
Ceremony.
live Ceremony Mall.
In the food court,
Yeah.
people in the food court at Ceremony Mall doing a sock giveaway.
In front of which one? Oh, like in the
No,
in
he
the
was in
seats?
the
Where the
middle
Dick's
of that
Sporting Goods is
motherfucker.
at. Where the Dick's Sporting
I
Goods is
see.
now. We did it right now,
Yeah,
right by the
right
food court.
in that
I was like,
middle.
damn, if you did it in front of Pana, that'd be
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
But it was like the main corridor. Like if you
Yeah.
were in the food court
Yeah.
and you had to go to the bathroom, or you had to go to the rest of the mall, you were gonna pass by Cisco. And I remember seeing that and almost like I've known you for a long time, but I remember watching that and observing you, and I was like, he's gonna fucking do it. Like I remember seeing that early because we've always bumped into each other at the club when you need parties at Blush with FNAs, have it be Kokomo's.
Kokomo's, man.
Come
Jesus.
on, like I'm like
Because the eyes light up.
dude, Big Heart City.
Yeah, man.
Come on, like I remember
what was
seeing
that?
you and then just like, no, he's not a security guard. You know what I mean?
See, and I'm glad you said that, because the stigma of polys back then were security guards. You know what I mean? They always like saying, yes, please. Football players are security guards.
Yeah.
Right.
And my main thing was like, look, and love all my brothers that are doing security, love all my brothers that are doing their thing, however.
Get your money.
The stereotype to me was like, I don't want to be known as a security guard.
Yeah.
Did that push you further?
It pushed me harder because it's like all the security guards in Vegas and everywhere that we went, they would let us in anyways, because that was like this the ooze thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I said, look, when somebody came up to me, they wasn't gonna say, hey, go secure that. I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm the main act.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'm
Has
the
that
dude
happened
that's on the
before?
mic. Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
I've had owners of the clubs come like, hey, can I go break with that file? I was like, hey, no, motherfucker, I'm the DJ here.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh shit, you're a DJ. I didn't know that polys were DJs. I was like, oh yeah, we do a lot more than just be security guards.
That's crazy.
And that kind of pushed me to kind of say, look, I'm going to get everybody out of this mindset that Samoans, Tongans, and Polys, just because we're big and have stature, that we have to be a security
And
guard.
handsome, yeah, it's crazy.
And I told her, and I said, look, if I can sit there and make sure that I can get your attention by doing something other than being a security guard,
Right.
I got you.
Yeah.
And like the sock drive with you, that was something that I seen KML do. Okay, they do toy drive. Okay, what can we do? Like I always mimicked after everybody. Everybody that was successful,
But
they
you
did a toy
made
drive.
it your own.
Yes.
E-
Absolutely.
Everyone borrows, right?
Yeah.
People borrow, and
It's like
sometimes
sampling. It's like sampling.
they
hip-hop.
straight borrow. And
So
then-
that's why when they did the toy drive,
You did
me
a
and
s-
shout out Brand One, because
Shout out
Brand
to
One was
Brand
Dude.
One.
he was the brain behind Big Body Radio, and that's my brother for life.
Brain one, you know?
And Brain One was the one.
You feel me?
So when we sat there and was like, he said, let's do a toy drive. And I was like, nah, everybody's doing a toy drive.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay, let's do a coat drive. Nah, Burlington's doing a coat drive.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, we
R.I.P.
gotta find something. And we kind of sat in the office at the time and we are looking up stuff. What do people have drives? I was like, dude, homeless people always have holy socks, right? You always go to look at this homeless dude, like either they have one sock on or so I said, let's do a fucking sock drive.
Mm-hmm.
We did a sock drive for a couple of years and it was a successful sock drive. We had, places, we had boxes everywhere where people
Blue
would drop
Saigon.
off. Blue Saigon
Wow.
out there, and everybody had it. Fresh Society, Fresh Apparel.
You spread yourself out that
Yeah.
way because you would do recordings from these locations
Yeah.
and it would be live. Like and
Mind you, nobody knows who we are though.
No.
Yeah.
They're like, they're not KML. They're not
No.
Wild 94.9.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are these
Are
dudes?
they,
Body
are they
radio.
talk radio like KNBR or something?
So even trying to get into the venues of
Yeah.
ceremony, they're like, wait, what station are you with? Oh, Big Body Radio. The way you had it was aggressive and try to make them seem like we was somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
confidence,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's
Hey,
confidence.
we're kind of this startup company and we just want
Yeah.
to do this thing. Nah, Big Body Radio, Big Body Cisco, how you doing? We want to do a sock drive here. We want to set a live telecast there, they're like, oh shit, these motherfuckers somebody.
Yeah, it's gonna be a charity give back, so you give back to
Exactly.
the community. So,
But it was all the way you presented it.
Yes.
presentations.
So
Absolutely.
if you come in, it's like, we want to do, we're just a startup, but nah, we came in like we was better than came in. We came like we was the #1 station, and we was an internet. So everyone used to always make fun. Oh, that's just that little internet show you do.
Wow. And now look at him now, dog.
And it's crazy because it forwards me to Romeo Reyes's his awards they used to have over there with all the DJs. So
Shout out to
that was kind of
Romeo.
like my I made it moment.
Saki Lab, Romeo.
Man, so when Romeo Reyes kind of had his entertainment, it was Nightlife Awards.
Yeah, that's right.
It was like best DJ,
Yep.
best radio host. So it's a trip if you go. I play
And
the
you're
video all the
the
time.
you're the only one that came dressed for it too.
No, I had my pimp coat on, and I was ready because I was in the same category as best radio host.
Yeah.
Big Vaughn,
Yeah.
Shout out
Chewy
to Vaughn.
Gomez,
Shout out to Chewy.
Nikki Blades. Like you had people that was all
Shout out to Nikki.
Shout out Nikki. Hey Nick. But when everybody was there, even Jose Melendez, who presented
Shout out
the
to
award,
Jose.
was like,
Shout out Jose.
The winner of best radio host is, he goes, Big Body Cisco.
Were you in pinstripes or was it?
Shit.
It was a voting system.
Yeah, it was a voting system.
So
Yeah.
tech, like what happened why that happened? It was no secret because you created your own lane
Organically.
and your people support.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing, right? You have a foundation of support.
Yeah.
Who actually support. It's not a radio station where they'll tune in.
Yeah.
These people will follow you.
And that was my hook line too, because I was like, look, I said, our support system is like no other. If I listen to KMU, I'm gonna support, but from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I say listen to something, if I say I'm gonna support from a distance, like okay. But if you was with me,
Yeah.
you would support me like you was my cousin.
Yeah.
You would support me like
Yeah.
I was like your brother.
Yeah.
So when I said, hey, look, I'm up against some of the legends in the game. Big Vaughn, these are my brothers. Chewy Gomez. It would mean a lot to me to win this category, and it would mean a lot to what you guys come as a.
You like made an announcement.
I made an because every time I would go on my social media, because
Right.
mind you, you're trying to adapt to social media at that time.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
How
really?
can I use this platform?
Yeah.
And I was saying, hey, look, this is a PSA. I'm nominated for Best Radio Host. I'm a little internet company, bigbodyradio.com, and I'm up against KMEL, Wild 94.9, whatever the other stations were. And I said, if we win this, just imagine what this is going to do for the independent,
Yeah.
guy. So when I kind of won that, I talked my shit. I went
you
up
did.
there. I said, hey,
You deserved it. You earned it.
on the mic, I said, and it's not like it was just a moment for me where I was like, look, for everyone that didn't want to take a chance on me, fuck KMEL, fuck Wild 94.9, everybody, I do my own shit and I'm an independent business owner.
Oh shit! You got all Suge Knight source
real
awards,
Suge
dog.
Knight, real Suge Knight.
Like hanging like a Vanilla
that
Ice
was
over the banister. Suge
Just
Knight.
having these people that's been in radio for 20 years look at
Having
me
that
like,
moment though
how
must
the
have been
fuck this motherfucker win?
having that moment.
And it was crazy because I was like, you know what? And then Romeo, and not to go over Romeo said it wasn't even close.
Wow! Did you get the actual numbers?
No, he didn't. But he said, I can't give you the actual number. But I looked at him, I said, man, it's a blessing. He was like, bro, I'll keep it real with you. It wasn't even close.
Wow!
And I just said that goes back to saying the organic audience will always be there for you in a way because you kind of like, hey, ride with me, I'm gonna ride for you.
Yes.
And then with the Polynesians, I was like the only Polynesian that was doing that in the Bay Area.
This
Yeah.
is pre-Twitch.
Pre-Twitch,
Come on,
pre-everything. We're gonna get to the Twitch stuff.
Yeah, this is pre-Twitch. I just want to be
Yeah.
sure that's clear because like Twitch wasn't even a
No,
company.
Nah.
this was BigBodyRadio.com.
was just an action.
Yes.
We actually, Brandon came up with an app. We had a Big Body Radio
I
app.
remember that.
And we was like, hey, you could listen to the show on the app because remember, you had to make it easy for people to listen
Yeah.
to your show.
Yeah.
If it was more than
Accessible.
1-2 clicks, he was like, oh yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, Brandon, we need to click one time and we're on Big Body Radio. I said, all right, cool. Got with some developers, got some money together, put it, because back then apps were expensive. What
And
we
you
did,
put your own money up because you
put
bet
our
on
own
yourself.
money up. We bet on ourselves. I said, look,
Yeah.
we have, and we gonna say, hey, look, it's the first Polynesian owned app. It's Big Body Radio. Go check it out. And we was always promoting ourselves like we was the biggest shit ever. Like we was promoting ourselves like our shit didn't stink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
go up, and then Brandon would say, hey, look, in all these meetings, I'll put Cisco up against anybody. Any of your talent, I'll put Cisco up against anybody.
He still says that to this
Yeah,
day.
He does.
And that's my
Still.
brother, man.
Yeah.
Because he knew what my vision was from when he was doing parties. I said, hey, Brandon, I'm going to go do the mic. He was like, just don't get in a fight.
That was the first thing he said. Just don't break anything.
So when he was doing silent group, I said, B, I'm gonna go on the mic. He said, get on the mic, don't start a fight. So I was like, all right, cool. So when Brandon kind of gave me that leeway to kind of give me my shine,
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, I'm a rival. So shout out My Motion, shout out the Pirate DJ. All the DJ kind of took a chance on me, where whether they liked it or not, I was gonna get on the mic.
Yeah.
But when me and
Yeah.
My Motion got together at Kokomo's, there was not an unstoppable. We were an unstoppable duo.
Kokomo's
Shout out my
was
brother
different.
DJ Ivan.
Shout out
But
to
I'm
the
saying,
Ive.
shout out everybody who did Cream of Beat. Whenever me and My
Wow,
Motion
Cream
got
of
on there,
Beat, dog.
wasn't nobody fucking with me in my emotion. And I can say that to this day. That combo alone was deadly. Kokomo. There was times where I'd be on the mic, go down, fight somebody, fight some Mexican dude in the crowd, get back, and get right back on the mic.
I hate that you said they had to be Mexican.
I remember having the mic, and it's on, and you kind of had it, and you went, dink, dink, dink. All right, let's get the party going.
Yeah, exactly. All right, y'all.
My emotion's like this, what the fuck just happened?
I think
everybody's like, what?
I think he drops Big Man Scoop.
They're dragging dude out by his leg. Shh. I don't get kicked out because I'm like, nah, we're gonna get the party going. I was like, what happened to dude? Oh, Cisco hit him with the mic.
I have to say, right? A lot of people are familiar with you because of that incident with Dog.
Yes.
Even when that happened at Gellert Park, you were all smiles.
Shout out to the Renegades.
Shout out to Renegades.
Shout out
man.
to Renegades.
The crazy thing is that a lot of people see that video if you can catch it because they took it down.
Took it down.
What they don't know is the aftermath, like when they handcuffed you at the club.
Well, they did a lot of stuff outside that you didn't see on the film.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
They laid me
You're
down
in
at
a
Blush.
Giants.
I had a Giants jersey on and
Yeah.
everything. We was at practice for the Renegades.
But it was like separate occurrences.
Oh, it was several separate occurrences.
Crazy.
But what it was is at the football practice, what people didn't see is when Dog and his son came up to us, they had 30 Daly City PDs behind them.
Yep.
Wow.
So when we all kind of looked at them, the camera's just showing them coming towards us. We're looking at the 30 cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like saying, okay, but at that time when Leland was trying to grab me, I was like, look, I will beat your
Yeah,
ass.
look, little MMA fighter.
But
Relax.
he knew he had the cops behind him.
Yeah.
So his thing was, okay, I'm going to get some good TV.
Yeah.
So every time he grabbed me, I looked in the camera, I said, y'all about to see Dog get his ass whooped.
He really did though.
And I told and like, no, we all know the show.
We all
they
know
always
the
used
show.
to go for the dope fiends in Hawaii. So when
Yeah.
we had to let them know, my brother Frisco let them know in and out.
Yes.
So hey, this ain't Hawaii.
This ain't Hawaii.
This
dog.
ain't
fucking Hawaii.
Respectfully.
This ain't Hawaii. dog.
These ain't the
I
dope
love
fiends in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You fucking with some real Bay Area cats out here.
Yes,
we will
sir.
fuck you up.
Yeah.
So that's why when they kind of took that, it was different occurrence. They came to Blush, held a shotgun to my head.
What? Yeah, I
On the
read
ground,
about that. Yeah.
Had a shotgun to my head while they were looking for whoever they're looking for.
Yeah,
Shout out, brother.
yeah.
But then they also came to 24-hour fitness.
Wow.
When it was 24-hour Nautilus, we were on the basketball court.
Nautilus.
Laid me down mid-court at the court at Daly City.
Damn.
Guns drawn and everything. No cameras though.
Yeah, no cameras.
So I kept standing. I said, dude, I'm not the dude you guys are looking for. I'm 6'5". You're looking for a dude that's 5'11". You know what I mean? I just had to tell them every time. So once they got everything together and they finally caught who they caught,
Yeah.
they were after they had all that footage, they were trying to say, hey, we need you to sign a release.
Fuck that.
And I used to have all these voicemail messages from Beth, rest in peace, even though, rest in
Yeah.
peace for your ass. But Dog was
God
on my
bless the
voicemail,
dead.
and they would tell me, hey, we need you to sign this release because you're going to be a star. And I was like, nah, if you guys don't know anything about polys, we don't ever want to be in the public eye
Right.
in a bad sense.
Yes.
So I was like, fuck that release. I'm not going to do none of that. So we thought we was over it. We're sitting at home one day, moms and pops in there, about to eat dinner. Series premiere.
They showed.
Dog the Bounty Hunter, 2-part series. It was like, oh, you about to see Dog get fucked up? I was like, that's me. My mom goes, what the We all looked and I said, hell no. So they showed the episode. It was like one of their biggest episodes ever.
Also, it's a 2-part, man. Big body
Yeah.
is really big
It was
body.
a series
dog.
premiere.
Yeah.
Series
It was
premiere.
like a Christmas special.
Phone started ringing. Sis, was that you? We just seen you. So at that point, it's almost defamation because
Yeah.
now I'm this dude, right?
Yes. Yes.
So when you're trying to build a brand, that's kind of hard to kind of like have that on your head. So, without getting everything in there, a lawyer kind of contacted me. He was like, hey, did you sign a release? I said, nah. So after I told him that, everything kind of took its course.
Right.
You won't see the episode again.
Yeah.
But just, we had to do what we had to do to make sure, like, we had to show TV, like, just because they have you filmed, you have to sign a release.
Absolutely.
So, when I just see these dudes on Cops all the time. Like, how the fuck they still on Cops?
Yeah.
And they didn't sign nothing.
Because the dude's all just like.
Exactly. All right, so when that had happened, the magnitude of the popularity that we had in trailer parks, that we had in Las Vegas with security guards.
Yeah.
I shit you not. I'll be in a supermarket to this day.
You'll still get it.
There'll be a white redneck lady, and she goes, "Hey, you from Dog the Bounty Hunter?"
Holy shit.
And you should
I'm
be like, hey, you're from King of the Hill, motherfucker.
So it's crazy how that, but we flipped that to kind of say, okay, we have this momentum of being on this show.
Yeah.
By the way, go listen to Big Body Radio.
Exactly.
Go listen to whatever we do. Come to the Renegades game. Like, we had to use that little 15 minutes of fame.
Of course.
To our advantage. Where
Silver
a lot of people
lining.
let that die and kind of nah, use that, even if it's negative publicity, use it in a way that you can flip it
Right.
and kind of get followers and get eyes on you. So that was good for me.
I didn't like what they did with that second family that was involved.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been involved. That was some snake shit. That was some snake shit. That didn't need to be on air.
They did that for the views.
I didn't,
sure.
I didn't like
Yeah.
that because I'm really close to that family. But
Yeah.
so
Really?
love to y'all.
Yeah.
Love to y'all.
And
Shout
that's
out
the
my
thing.
family, man.
You like a lot of like just regular media, right? Like you listen to a lot of music, you watch movies.
Yeah, everything.
You watch TV.
Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing, Big Body Yachty Cisco, is that here.
Could you not? Could you not? Put some respect in his name, man.
He
Come
said
on,
it. You
man.
heard it. He
Come
said
on,
he was
man.
the first. I was the first. I coined that. All right. So
Oh my
here's the thing.
God.
Okay. So here.
Ramel goes missing.
Yeah, exactly.
If the next podcast comes Rommel with a black eye, you know what happened.
Guess what I'm gonna call Dog. So.
No.
So here at the FREE99 podcast, whenever we do have a guest,
Yeah.
we like to play a little game with them.
Let's do it.
All right, today's game is called Finish Me Off, Big Body.
Oh, shit.
This is famous quotes or lyrics
Got it.
from sports, movies.
Okay.
Anything, okay?
And I feel like I know a lot of unuseful information, so this might be good.
Shout out.
Oh, I do have to say, I heard a little rumor about you.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
So what I do need you to do is, if it is a lyric, I'm going to need you to sing it.
Let's not get it twisted. We don't want to take you back to my singing in RN.
Is that okay? Is that okay, Big Body
Yes,
Yachty?
we good.
Thank you. All right. First one starts off, what can I say?
Oh, shit. Look, that's some racist ass shit right
Yeah,
there.
I don't-
You're welcome. That one.
Yes. There it is. It's not racist.
You know how many times?
One of my best friends is
my
Paulie.
You know how many times I've been on a flight and I have these white kids come up to you like, Mom, look, it's Maui. And she goes, oh, yeah, can my son take a picture with you? I'm like, yeah. First of all, that's racist. Second of all, because they see the tattoos on my hands and they see the tattoos that I have. And they're like, oh, my God. And I have these old couples like, you're just like Maui from the movie.
God.
People don't know how degrading it is, but
Yeah.
thank God I have a personality and a sense of humor
Yeah.
to kind of know that these people mean no harm.
Right.
There's no malicious intent
I mean no
behind it.
harm, especially since
That's
Jan
why-
brought up that idea of including that.
Fucking Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
Fucking Jan.
He also included the next one, Jan.
If Jan comes with a black eye.
All right, here's the next one, all right? You ready? If you smell.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, my
It's Jan.
God.
This is Jan, dog. All right, go.
Frisco's
Jan went and
finest.
Googled all Samoan sayings.
Yeah.
If you smell.
What the Rock is cooking.
That's correct. Ding them up. Because I'm going to get beat up after this for you, Jan.
Round 2.
All right.
Jan was like, this looked better on paper.
Yeah, you know, Jan was probably like, you know what? Fuck Rommel.
Better Ramel than
Yeah.
me.
Here's number
Sounded
3.
good. We was rehearsing, but
Here's number 3. I can't lose when I'm with you.
wait. Your voice was way off.
That's because I can't fucking sing, dog. All right? I'm embarrassing myself so you can shine, dog.
Say it again.
Okay. I can't lose.
Man,
when
that's the lose
I'm
part that's
with
fucking me up.
you. Look, it's a fucking scissor song.
Oh, snooze.
No, but you gotta sing it.
Oh, shit. I ain't no bitch. I ain't gonna sit there.
He's Big Body Yachty, dog.
I look like singing a snooze, man.
All right, just fucking recite the lyrics, please. I have a job here, bro.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, shout out to Feel Good.
All right, that's fine. Just sting him up. Just sting him up. He's already
You
kicking
know
me
it.
under the table, dog.
Oh my goodness.
All right, here's this
I have
last,
no part in this.
last
Yes.
one. It's a quote
Got it.
from, I don't know, somebody who is so impactful, right?
Why don't you be like Once Were Warriors movie quote?
Yeah. It's rest, restart, refocus.
Rest, restart, oh, wait, this is one of my morning messages I just had.
That's right.
Shit, and I have a lot of them.
You must have been high.
No, you say the rest of it.
Rest, restart, refocus.
Fuck, I forgot.
But don't you dare give up on your
Come on,
dreams.
come on, man. There it is. There it is.
It's crazy.
Hey, shout out everybody that follows my morning message. You'd be
Morning
surprised. On my Instagram, Big Body Cisco, shameless plug. But
Shame, no, full of, no shame at all. Man.
I start my day every day knowing that I look for morning messages to put. And it's not really for people that's, reading it. It's for myself.
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is because if I can start my day with a positive quote like that,
Yeah.
the rest of my day is pretty much going to go that way. I mean, it's not always going to happen that way, but I started to see like, okay, I can't miss a morning. When I wake up, of course, you're not supposed to go to your phone, but what I do is like, okay, I thought of something. Like shout out Roz. Rest in peace to Roz that just passed away. And when she had passed away and I got the news, my whole thing was like, I have to do something. And when anybody passes, my next quote has to be something about life is too short.
Right.
Because I feel like it's part of, I'm real transparent with my life.
Yeah.
Through social media, and I think you have to be like that because you have to be more, accessible to people and your fan.
Relatable.
So when that had happened, every morning message that I do, if I don't if I don't listen to it, I feel like, okay, I read it to myself. I was like, oh, that's going to be corny to the people that's out there.
Yeah.
Like if you, like today's morning message was deep. It was a long ass one.
I did. I was gonna try to do that, but I was like, I can't.
And that being a long one is like, you'd be surprised. Like you could put stuff up there and a lot of people is going to say either they like it but you'd be surprised when you put up a bunch of words, how they'll sit there and read it word for word and kind of it'll resonate with them.
That's the thing I want to say. That's the vibe you create.
Yeah.
That is what people can expect. One thing I love about your page on IG is that you don't have the number of likes up because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. You know the impact that you have on others.
Yeah.
You don't need to quantify it by a silly fucking number.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
When they did put in that part where you can hide the likes, I said, look, if something has 20 likes, it's not credible for me to look at it because only 20 people looked at it.
Right.
But if you had a post that had 1,000 likes, now I gotta read it.
Right.
So it was dictating how people would look at your page.
Yeah. Yes.
So whether I got 2 likes, whether I got 10,000 likes, now I can hide it. And now you had to put up for yourself to say, okay, was this a 10,000 liker?
Yes.
Or was this a 2 liker? But it don't really matter.
Leave it for them to decide.
Yeah, that's also you breaking the algorithm of what Instagram is, because young kids in Instagram, they don't post a lot.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They keep it in their story and they don't post a lot. Like your page is full.
Yeah.
Your page has content. Your page has a lot of meaning. Like those morning messages, I'm telling you, like life's hard and those got me through a lot of the hard times. So the fact that you do that, you know what I mean? Not everyone's liking it, but a lot of people are reading it.
You'd be surprised, Gus. I'd be out, like I was in Australia one time and there's people that came up to me and was like, your morning message saved me from killing myself.
Wild. See?
And I'm like, well, you don't know what kind of impact you have over the world. I was in New Zealand.
Yeah.
The security dude was like, hey, I'm a big fan, huge fan of the podcast, but your morning message stopped me from getting through a rough time. And I'm like, damn, I was having older ladies, older men, young kids, you know, teenagers coming to us like, man, you know, I read you thinking I was going to kill myself, but I read a lot of your morning messages and it kind of got me through.
How do you feel about that?
I said, look, don't put the pressure on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, I got a whole island on my fucking back.
For me, I was always telling them, I said, you know what? I did that for me. And if somebody resonated with it, then I did my job.
I think that's the key to it, right?
Because some people just put it up just to put it up.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, I think that's the key to it.
Without meaning.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before. It's that, like, if you find somebody to relate to you, then by feeling familiar, the depression or maybe the embarrassment goes away, right? That negative impact is lessened.
Well, you got to look at what social media is. Everyone's posting their wins.
Right.
No one's really posting their losses.
Yeah.
So when you can sit there and kind of say, look, I'm human too, where I can kind of like go through a tough stage, because I put that message I posted today, a young lady in Utah hit me. It was like, hey, I'm sorry for what you're going through. I was like, I'm not going through anything. You know? But because they read it in the way what their context was, it was kind of like saying, damn, Cisco's going through it.
Perception.
And I said, look, blessings to you. I said, I'm blessed. In my life, I'm blessed. I said, that was really a message that I wanted to resonate with people that was going through that. Me, unfortunately, may not be going through a lot of stuff that you're reading through that. You're probably not reading between the lines.
Right.
But that goes through a lot of the morning messages.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these people are reading what you're putting up. My whole thing is hook, line, and sinker. If I start my day with a morning message, you have to also say, okay, I got a lot of stuff to promote. I got to promote my podcast. I got to promote this, gig I got coming up.
Right.
So when you do it like that, when you put those up, okay, they'll just scroll right by. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But if you kind of catch them with a positive message, if you kind of catch them with a funny video, now you got their attention. So once I get your attention, by the way, check out Western Conference Podcast. By the way, we got a show December 9th. You know what I mean? So with that, there's a whole like way to do it.
Yeah.
There's a whole game plan of how to do it. And that's just something I do. I don't know if it, breaks the algorithm. I don't know if it helps, but I know that's something that I do. And as long as I'm consistent in it, that's going to help me out.
Authenticity.
Authenticity is key.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
There are so many people out there on social media will be complete opposite of what they represent.
I mean, we see it. Everyone sees it.
It's kind of crazy, though.
I mean, you can kind of tell. I mean, if you really look at social media, you can kind of tell the J Cats from the real cats. You know what I mean?
Cats, real
J-Cats.
Frisco shit. Real Frisco shit.
Yeah, keep racking up them likes, though. Whatever makes you sleep better at night, right?
So, I ain't gonna lie. One time I went on Keith Lee. Shout out Keith Lee, who's a food critic, right?
I thought you meant the wrestler.
That's that skinny black dude, right?
Yes. Keith Lee, he's like a huge food blogger in Las Vegas.
Monotone as fuck.
Yeah, he's a UFC fighter.
Solid dude.
But you know what's crazy?
He's a UFC fighter? He used to be.
Yeah, he's a UFC fighter. But I went on this thing and I said, hey, I respect what you're doing, but my boy Gus and Big John did this shit way before you did this shit.
Shut the fuck, you did that?
And
you Kanye West. You Taylor Swift that motherfucker.
Hey,
You say, hey, yo, Beyonce has
people
the
just know-
hottest album of all
Shout out We Eatin', because Big John and Gus did this shit way before all these food
Shout out
bloggers were
Mono.
doing they shit. So I always say that.
Wait, so
because-
you're telling me that Gus
Yes.
was doing this before any of these other food people
And
were out
Mono and
there?
Big John.
And
Pioneer,
Mono,
bro.
shout out to Mono. I want to meet Big John.
Hey, these dudes are some pioneers. Shout out Skinny. He's doing his thing out in Las Vegas right now. You'll catch him over there at Dre's. You'll catch
Love
him over
you.
there at Spearmint Rhino. But I'm saying,
Would
when
you
I
know that
see-
one is like as a customer?
No, he got him.
But
Boogie got him.
So, and it goes back to where
I need
when
to
I
go to Vegas,
seen
though.
We Eatin', it was produced well.
Yes, Mono.
They went to all these different places and didn't ask for nothing.
Right.
These motherfuckers just wanted something to eat. You know?
Yeah.
So
A
when
lot
they
of
was doing their thing,
places fed us really well.
you see these We Eatin' episodes, and I trip because Keith Lee and all these people that are doing these food critic stuff now. What it do? Whatever fuck his name is. Grub with Mike.
Shots fired. Pew pew.
But I'm saying motherfuckers like that. They doing. I mean, look, to each his own.
To each his own.
But I'm saying, if you're gonna do that, pay homage to the motherfuckers you seen, which I'm doing, and saying like I seen Gus and Big John and them do that shit.
Yeah.
Way before all these motherfuckers. Way before it was cool to do it.
You know what I learned about Gus is
Yeah.
that he was the pioneer in that.
Yeah,
but the thing
absolutely.
is
Hands
that
down.
you cannot box him in.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
He's out here spreading his wang.
Yes. And that just goes back to it because I'm saying you got to pay. I mean, like E40. Anybody you kind of seen coming up is like, okay, I pay homage. You know,
Yes.
and that's a Bay Area thing. It may not be too cool to pay homage whether you're from SoCal or anywhere else. But in the Bay Area, you're going to pay homage to those who did it before you.
Yes.
Chewy Gomez, Big Von, all my cats that I shouted out before.
Big body
They was
Cisco.
doing it.
This motherfucker's
Yeah.
spitting right now. dog.
But I'm saying it goes back to saying, look, what Gus is doing now with Euro, this is stuff that we're all just kind of doing. The FREE99 podcast is like everybody's kind of making their own lane.
Yes.
And everybody's making their lane because we have the freedom to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting over here in Daly City. We're over here doing our thing. But I'm saying you can go from $1 million produced show.
Yep.
To a show like we have. Not that I mean to downplay y'all
I mean,
shit.
you have a couch.
I
and
don't got
shit.
Cisco's
Jan,
budget.
Yeah.
Jan was like,
This motherfucker is. I see your show, dog. You have an arm for your mic and shit, and you're just kind of like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit's amazing.
He's in a
bro.
lazy boy.
For this, I gotta scoot in. Where our knees are touching right now, bro.
Every
Our knees
time,
are touching.
every time I
here.
watched
It's
y'all
warm.
podcast, I kept saying, "Why these motherfuckers so close together?"
You know why?
We got
Because
one
we
camera.
because we got one. There's no angles on this shit.
wide
no?
angle.
You know why? Because they were like.
I come in here and I know Jan. Jan is a motherfucking professional.
Jan is that motherfucker.
So I sat down. I was okay. Which camera? Okay, there's just one.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Cool.
He's
So
like,
Jan, we're just here. Okay.
He was like, "Where's the camera?"
Yeah. Jan was like, "I'm sorry, Cisco."
I'm looking at the board. I'm like, "Where's the board?" Okay, it's all into his phone. What the fuck's going on right now?
Yeah, Jan, why are you holding that karaoke mic? Is that okay? That's your shit. All right, cool.
Then he's over there trying to wrap us up. He's like 5 minutes left. Guys, Jan, shut the fuck up.
I think Jan has something he wants to share. He's
Yeah.
always holding the mic. He doesn't want to share anything.
All of a
he's just
sudden,
holding
Jan,
it.
all of a sudden, motherfucker got quiet, dog.
But I mean, like, I had to pay homage and I had to give Gus his flowers because
It's
what he was
well-deserved.
doing.
It's-
And I don't think they get enough credit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they had a whole produced intro. They had a whole thing where
Shout
I'm
out
like,
to Hero
"Rap,
Pete."
man."
Song. Shout out to Barton.
Shout out
We
to
had a song.
shout out to
Man.
Jake, man.
And they did their thing, man. So when I see these food bloggers now, especially in Vegas, because I live out there now,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to see. It's like, it's kind of cool. It's kind of watered down because I know what my brothers used to do.
I know. It's like, how many times can you go to the fucking Bacchanal buffet, dog? We know they got crab legs, okay? It's great. I see.
That's on a camcorder. Shout out to Mono. That was on a
I spent
camcorder.
$78.95. We're gonna try it and I'm gonna rate it.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
shut the fuck up, Keith. Eat the fucking food.
you
Because
skinny.
look, I'm not gonna lie. Me and Franzen, shout out my brother Franny.
Shout out to
legend.
Fran, dog.
We was gonna do same thing because we eat out all the time in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, it's like the thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, you know what I trip off? So me, Big John, and Franny go to the sushi spot. Shout out Sin City Sushi.
Oh, is it downtown?
No, it's in the Henderson.
Okay.
So we go to sit there, and I'm like, oh, we should do it here. Then I'm looking at Skinny. I'm looking at Big John. I'm like, no, fuck that. We ain't doing this shit. I mean, Gus already did this shit. So we were like, nah, we can't do it because, it had already been done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, all those other food bloggers like, let me show you a secret spot. Here's secret pizza. Bitch, we know secret pizza.
We
all
know
right?
it ain't.
It's not a
It ain't
secret,
no
dog.
secret. I tell you a secret, it tastes like ass.
It's like,
Nah, like and Cisco, like he was supposed to be on an episode.
Yeah.
And then he was supposed to hook us up with this lady on the end of Geneva. Is she still there?
Which one?
The one where you can buy the ears. All the way in across from McDonald's. We were supposed to eat at that spot.
Oh, it was a Samoan food spot.
Yes.
Samoan food. Shout out to Salau, her parents over there. Because it was right.
So
they
a girl that go?
girl Simaile that used to sing for the team, and now she's doing big things in Atlanta.
Shout out to Simaile.
She's a casting director out there. Shout out my sis
Wow.
Simaile. But her family owns this Samoan food spot that's right behind Falos Church. But they used to have another one called Levy's Market.
Levy's Market.
So Levy's
Yes.
Market and
Yes.
Silau's food spot that they had, I was telling them, hey, you got to try the Samoan food.
Right.
And I said, but if you guys talk shit, it might get fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think the thing was, I was like, he was like, hey, but you have to pay though. Yeah.
I said, first of all,
Yeah.
you got to pay for the food.
Yeah.
My family don't play. You have to go there and pay.
Actually, you gotta pay extra.
But shout out Simaile, and back then those were entrepreneurs to us.
Yeah.
Like Levy's Market, and Simaile and her family, they were selling like pukasis and everything out there. Where, for Polynesians, we didn't really know what an entrepreneur was.
Fiji Market.
The Fiji Market, and everything that's doing, like, where now it's kind of like you have YouTube University to go to.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it takes us back to Twitch, where it kind of like intros and segues into Twitch, where during the pandemic, there was everybody, me and Franny, we're doing Instagram Live.
Yes.
We couldn't, so everyone was like, how is people gonna, showcase their talent not being in the club?
Yep.
I couldn't host no shows. People couldn't
DJs were
DJ no
not
clubs.
working, yeah.
So,
The poppers weren't popping.
shout out to Anil with Twitch. Shout out to him. He came up to me and was like, hey, I see you keep getting cut off on Instagram Live over copyright. Come over to Twitch. A lot of the DJs.
Good night again, dog.
Shout out Shortcut. Shout out, shout out Ro over there. I was doing his thing, and I kind of seen what they were doing. So I told Franny, I said, hey, we should try this Twitch thing.
Yeah.
So long story short, we did it. But I'm saying, okay, if we're gonna do it, a lot of DJs got exposed. Mm-hmm. The personalities were exposed because you're not behind the DJ booth at the club.
Yeah.
You're not. You're like you in the camera.
Yeah.
You got to have some kind of fucking personality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I said, look, to
the
me,
family's different.
this is where we're gonna thrive.
Yeah.
Because Franny knows how to do what he do. I know how to do what I do.
Right.
We're real well versed in music.
Yep.
Franny does his thing every week at Dre's, but now there's a platform to do what we do and still get paid for it.
Yes.
Because at first, when I was like, well, do we get any money from this? And he was like, yeah, actually,
You become partners.
if you have,
How did it pay out?
it paid out real handsomely. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Damn.
Because everyone was subscribing, so what it was is like he instantly made us a partner. So sometimes you had to be an affiliate, you had to make your way up.
Yep.
Neil was like, "Look, you guys already have a fan base,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna shoot you guys straight to partner." So we already got the purple check mark.
Y'all were feeding him.
Yeah, so he was like, "Look, we're gonna give you that purple check mark off top."
Yep.
I was in my brother's garage in South City, and I was doing these shows, and I was like, "Okay, I'm in my brother's garage. How do I make this tight?" I went straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
How do we do it? So green screen came up.
Wow.
How do I make my sound better? I knew what pieces to buy. I knew what mics to buy. So it was a whole production.
Yeah.
But remember, you're not gonna do it. No one's gonna do it for you. You got to do it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I kind of took that pandemic thing, like, okay, everyone's kind of saying, what are we gonna do? I sat there and taught myself how to be a sound engineer, how to be a producer, how to be a director of everything I was doing, because I already knew my talent was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when we were doing it, and we had the green screen, and it was a production.
Yes.
You go watch my Twitch show, you go watch Franny's Twitch show, Shortcut's Twitch show. It was a well-produced thing. But Shortcut was cheating. He had a whole... he had everybody on his side.
He had cheat codes.
He
Shout
had
out
phone
to
numbers. Yeah, he had
I
phone
had-
numbers.
Shout out to Rome Diggs.
Myself.
Yes.
Franny
absolutely.
had himself. Okay, he had Dame Fame, but we had ourselves. We were self-taught. Where I'm going to tell you this right now: Twitch paid for our way through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a paid internship.
And you was paying $4.99 to be a subscriber.
Yeah.
So our interactions with each person that was coming to the chat, me and Franny so good at doing that in the club.
Yeah.
We were saying what's up to everybody that's coming in. Hey, what's up, Reba from Canada? So we kind of like all the verbiage was there.
Yeah.
The emotes
Hey,
game is different.
when we would play it, and it goes back to what we're talking about, how we taught. We knew what the breaks were.
Yep.
So when the break would come on, everybody throw where you're from in the chat. So
Yeah.
you had all these cities. So me and Franny would read off each city.
What was the wildest city you've seen?
It was Germany. There was like, hey, we're in Germany listening to you. We had Franny had Konnichiwa. We were in
Japan.
in Japan.
Yeah.
Where I was like, hold on, this is more than local. Because all my Bay people was already there.
Yeah.
Then you started seeing people pop up, and then when Franny was on the front page of Twitch, I was like, okay, this is bigger. This is bigger than rap.
Franny.
Yeah, bigger than rap.
So I was like, look, Franny always did a ladies' night on Tuesday. So what I did, I said, look, let's brand some of these shows. What I said, okay, my Tuesday night is going to be a Love Jones show. All I play is old school R&B, slow jams, old
Smart.
school. And then I said my next day was called Island Vibes.
Yes, sir.
So that was the birth of Island Vibes, where I played everything. And look, when we were, he's just going to play all reggae.
Yeah.
Anything, come on with the branding. Come on with the branding.
Damn.
Anything you can play
Guess we need a phone case.
while listening on an island.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I could listen to old school R&B on an island.
Yep.
So I wanted to sit there because I had to tell people,
Got
look,
you.
it's not just reggae. It's not just island artists.
Right.
It's anything you can listen to on an island.
But that was your introduction to where you introduced a lot of artists
absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
people to your fan base who wouldn't normally stumble across them.
I'm talking about fan bases where it was around the world.
Yeah.
Where you had people out there in the Philippines. You had people out there in Germany, Canada. I mean, we had so many people from around the world that they
Music
were like,
submission must have been crazy on your email.
it was crazy because every song was in there. I said, hey, your production ain't right. So now I turned into the Barry Gordy of the shit. Hey, it's cool. I liked the hook, but this needs a little work.
You need a little bit more cowbell.
And it's crazy because I was introducing artists that I already knew, but introducing them to the world. So I'll play Finn. Shout out Finn Groover, South Sacramento. He's one of the dopest R&B singers out there. He's Tongan Cat out of Sacramento.
Yeah.
And I would play him along with Miguel. When I mixed that in, people from out of the country was like, who's the dude
that?
you played
Exactly.
before Miguel? Where can we get it?
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute. Light bulb went off. I hit all these artists. Hey, is all your shit on iTunes? Is all your shit? Can people buy it? Oh no, I just gave that to you. No.
Wow.
Don't give me shit until I know they can go buy it.
Yes.
Because it would do you a disservice if I didn't have these people say, hey, by the way, you can go pay $199 for this single.
Exactly.
So a lot of these artists are like, hey, Cisco's pushing numbers for us.
And you didn't ask for no cut or nothing.
No, I didn't, because I said, look, if they
Game
blow
is
up,
free.
so I would play J Boog all the time. Shout out my
Yes.
brother J Boog.
Shout out
There was-
Respect
look,
J Boog.
There was people under a rock that didn't know who J Boog was.
Absolutely.
And he's one of the biggest island reggae artists out right now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
From
But
whatever.
what somebody already knows may be new to somebody that never heard of him.
Yep.
So when I was playing Fiji, when I was playing Comic
Shout
Kings,
out to OG.
when I was playing Maoli, when I was playing Catch a Fire out of New Zealand,
Yeah.
people were like, who the fuck? So Island Vibes was huge.
Yes.
Because Love Jones, that's all day. You're gonna get your old school R&B, but people already know what those songs are.
exactly.
What I would do if Finn or somebody, an island artist, used to have a slow song that would fit into the Love Jones perspective, I would play it right along with it.
Yeah.
So when they had a love song, so there was I would play it on the Love Jones show.
Yeah.
So I had 3 shows at the time. I had Love Jones, I had Island Vibes, and I had the Happy Hour show.
Tell me about Happy Hour. I love Happy Hour. Tell me about the Happy Hour.
Happy Hour was on Thursday where, I said, look, we're on a pandemic.
Yeah.
So remember when we used to get off of work, we used to want that happy hour vibe.
Yeah.
Thirsty
So I
Thursdays.
said you would go after work and go. So I would think, okay, these people are leaving work. This is all like, in my head.
In your head, yeah.
They're leaving work right now. They're going to a bar. What music they want to hear?
Journey.
I play Fabulous. I play I Need a Girl. I play
Yeah.
all this stuff where they're like, man, we grooving. So when they're at home during the pandemic, they're having a real life happy hour at the house.
You saved a lot of people's lives.
Man,
marriages.
A lot of people came up and was like, dude,
relationships.
because in Love Jones, I said, look, we need another niche.
Yes.
So we would do toxic topics.
Oof.
I would have people that are at home submit topics for me to talk about. And I'm talking about some of the shit we talked about made me jaded about relationships to this day, but I'm just saying. So like we just had one this past, like I brought Love Jones back.
Right.
So listen to this topic. This girl said, I had a train. I got a train ran on me by my boyfriend's cousins.
Oh.
Right? This is just last week. We just did this on Tuesday.
Oh.
While my boyfriend was out of town, his cousins ran a train on me.
I'm so happy I don't go out of town.
I am now pregnant,
Oh,
and I'm seeing all of these cousins at Thanksgiving. This Thanksgiving, I'm talking about coming up.
it sounds like she's the turkey.
And the thing on the bottom was, what do I do? Bitch, if you don't shut your whole ass
You know
up,
what you do? You need Jesus.
so that's what I would do.
Whose fault is that? The
So all
cousins?
these toxic topics, come on. The cousins are some motherfuckers for doing
That's
that
some
anyway.
dog
That is.
shit.
That's some dog shit.
But
all of those cousins.
devil's advocate,
Jesus Christ.
you throw some snacks in front of a bear, we're gonna eat that shit. But it is your cousin's girlfriend, but
It's your
shit.
cousin's girlfriend.
But those toxic topics, I'm talking about every week, my DMs would be filled with 150 DMs of people going, and this is during the pandemic.
Yeah.
What was the worst one that made you just like, oh, question?
That
like,
one, first
that
of
one,
all.
yeah, for sure.
But
A
there was
train
other ones
too?
where,
God damn it.
my husband's at work, but his brother is the handyman. I had him come fix him, and he got me pregnant. And we're gonna have the baby. We didn't tell my husband, but
Ooh.
the baby's his brother's.
The DNA is the same.
But I'm
this
just saying,
is-
you see the shit what I'm talking about? And you can see what I'm looking at. I got 150 of these in my DMs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, fuck bitches.
What do you do on Friday?
Bitches ain't shit.
Friday should have a gospel section, dog.
Friday we just would do a pop up and we just kind of do what we do. But
no, give gospel to these.
yeah,
To these.
we do a little church show.
Lord, dog.
But like, it just shows you like, if you build something, they'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whether
the
it be
deviants.
I mean, come on.
But you've been building this for a long time, though.
yeah.
So that's what I just want to keep reminding people that you've been building this for a long time. Like this lane that you carved out has been carved out since
Altaloma.
But it goes back to that, bro. Like, I didn't want. So when I did the Altaloma thing, when I was fighting in the clubs, I kind of sat down for a minute in jail. I sat in jail and I was like, do I want to be remembered for being this dude that
Yes.
is out?
What's your legacy?
So I was like, what am I doing?
Right.
I had kids, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, I want them to think, okay, my dad was just this dude that fought in the club all the time.
Knucklehead, yeah.
I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
I had to make a decision like, okay, what's going to be my legacy?
Right.
I also had my mom and dad, like, God, they're here still to this day, thank you, God. But they didn't raise us like that.
Right.
They raised us, and I said, okay, so if I was to do all this, why would I put my mom through heartbreak? Why would I put my dad through heartbreak when they just raised us like good parents do?
Yeah.
So I said, I can't do it. I got to make my parents proud. I didn't graduate from high school because I was with a girl at El Faro because I missed the whatever the testing was. So that's strike one, because my parents was like, man, that's what Polynesians live for, all the graduations.
Hold on, El Faro, the one with the drive-through?
The heart bill.
The one with the drive-through, dog?
That's strike two is being at El Faro.
Yeah, that's strike two, dog.
No, fuck that.
If you were
at the best burritos.
if you were in South City and you're at La Tapatia, cool.
Oh, okay,
El Faro?
yeah, legit.
Yo, you should just went to Taco Bell this
Yeah,
store, bro.
dog.
Get back to my story, motherfucker. So,
Me and you were triggered by
Exactly,
that. I know.
dude. I was like,
fat.
hold
you
up.
fat. I'm fat.
Yeah, exactly.
so not graduating and seeing the hurt on my mom and dad's heart was like,
Yeah.
well, you know, every Polynesian family, they want something to celebrate.
Yep.
Graduating high school was a big thing for Polynesians back then. You see, it was all the lays and the money lays.
Yeah.
And when I had to go tell my mom and dad that I wasn't graduating, they was like, what? So I felt like I failed my mom and dad.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm like, fuck. You live for making your parents proud.
Absolutely.
Whether you don't have a good relationship, whether you do have a good relationship, at the end of the day, you're representing your parents.
Yeah.
Product.
Whether they raised you right, whether they didn't raise you right. I felt like I did them a disservice by not graduating high school.
You feel fulfilled, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, man, how can I make them proud? So I was working odd end jobs. I was a good salesman. So I sold cable for Comcast.
What else yourself? You're nasty. All right, let's keep going.
And we don't say about the drug dealer.
T-shirts. We didn't even get to the T-shirt.
Yeah, we didn't get to the E40
We didn't
line,
even get
dog.
Oh yeah, we will get to that. We will get to shout out Brand One.
Well, probably. I don't know.
But
right?
it goes back to where I had to make my mom and dad proud. So I was like, okay, if I was a salesman at Comcast, I wanted to be the best salesman.
Yeah.
To kind of show whatever, they gave you a certificate for the most sales. And hey, mom, and I felt like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That it didn't fulfill that void of me not graduating from
School.
them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this ain't it.
You're right.
So as I'm working this 9 to 5, they about to give me a sales director job for Comcast.
Director?
Shout out my brother Rob Fateri. They fly me to Florida and they're about to offer me this job, this big 6-figure job.
Damn.
So I'm like, all right.
And this is six figures, like
Yeah. This is like,
20
sales, commissions
What
and all
year
that.
is this?
Well, this is, man, I'm going to say 2015,
2015, that's basically like $1 million.
So I'm like, okay. I go to there and I said, Rob, shout out to my brother Rob. He was my boss at the time. I said, I'm going to quit. And he was like, what?
Why?
I said, I'm going to pursue my dream of doing this big body radio thing.
Authenticity, dog.
And he laughed at me. Rob, he remembered. He said, bro, we're about to offer you this good sales job. It's going to take care of your family. And I said, if I sell for you guys, we're making this corporate Comcast money. What am I making? I'm getting a little salary, whatever. And I said, if I don't do this, I'm gonna hate myself later on in life.
Yeah.
He said, you sure you want to do this? I said, I'm positive. I said, I'm gonna go follow my dream. So mind you, I got a family, I got kids. I gotta make sure that this is gonna hit, because if it don't hit, I could be homeless. I could do.
Yeah.
So
It
I
also
left
makes
the
you push harder, though.
It did, because I left Comcast and I told Brand One, I said, I'm all in. Because Brandon was like, hey, we can't kind of do what you want to do by you having this 9 to 5. Because Brandon's always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Brandon's always been a
Shout
creator.
out to Brand,
And
man.
So Brand One was like, fuck that job. So he gave me this big old pep talk, like, motherfucker, you pay my bills. So it kept going back and forth.
Fuck your job was very.
He was like
Brand One.
Smoking Friday.
Yeah.
Quit UPS.
He came to me and he was like, if you don't quit your 9 to 5, you might as well just keep doing that for the rest of your life. First of all, I was about to knock his ass. So I was like, first of all, don't talk to me like that.
Exactly.
Second of all, I'm like,
You right.
He's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
I'll still
fuck.
hit you, but you're right, though.
He said, it's cool. You're always going to be the cool Comcast guy. Which I was.
You were.
Which I was.
Shout out to Kev.
You're like, thank you for stating facts.
Shout
But
out,
okay.
shout out Box Kev.
Shout out Kev.
So when he said that to me, I said, you're right. He said, so shout out Brand One, I love him to this day. He said, if you leave your job, I'll make sure for these next couple of months that you'll make enough money to pay your bills.
Wow.
So I'm like, you sure, motherfucker? So he was like, we're already doing the apparel. We were selling, hyphy shirts. We were selling Giant shirts. We were selling
Pacquiao.
49er shirts, Pacquiao shirts.
I heard
Shout
about
out
that
brother
club
Mike from
thing.
Sam's.
I heard about that club thing in Vegas.
So, and that's what I was around two entrepreneurs. I was with Mike from Savs.
Shout out to Mike.
I was with Brand One, and they had Mojo Labs at the
Shout
time.
out to fucking Mike, dude.
Brand. Shout out to Mojo Labs.
So
shout out to Savs.
when I was in that space, I'm in the office with two entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I seen there was hand over fist of money that we were making off me selling the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like the front man.
Yeah.
So I was like the billboard for them to wear their shirt. Hey, where'd you get that shirt? Oh, I got it from Mike, got it from Brandon, Mojo Labs. So it made sense because I said, these guys ain't gonna let me down.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, if I leave this job, you guys got me. Both him and Mike said, leave your job and I'll guarantee we'll make enough money to pay your bills.
Wow.
I haven't had a job. I haven't had a 9-to-5 job since that day.
Man.
Since that day.
That speaks so much character about Brand and Mike.
Shout out to
Salute
Brand.
to
Shout out to
Brand
Mike.
One. Shout out Mike Lewanick,
dude,
man.
Love both of them dudes, man.
Because I put my fate in their hands. Because I was like, hey, and if I don't, and look, I won't tell you the behind the closed doors
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
I looked both of them and I said, if I don't make this money, I'm gonna fuck both of you up. But
Damn,
also,
man.
But also,
I think Mike could outrun you though. To be honest, with you.
But also knowing that though, you already put in the work in on the back end. That's why they knew.
knew.
yeah, they knew you just needed that push.
they always seen the star quality in me.
Yeah, always. It was always there. I remember going to World Series parades, and everyone's enjoying having a good time. But there's a tent. There's a tent
Holding the shirt up.
selling T-shirts,
Loud as hell.
and just one step ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
And you were definitely the spokesperson.
Yeah,
you were
for sure.
You were the ringleader.
Mike and Brandon knew that when we were at these parades, we were making all this money. But they knew that these other motherfuckers was watching us to rob us. So when they was watching us, I said, yeah, try to rob us. So
Classic.
I had
You
my
don't know what time
brothers.
it is.
Yeah.
I had all my brothers and had all the Samoans behind us. Cause like they wasn't going to rob everybody else. You ain't robbing us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Brandon and Mike knew that. It was like, it was a security blanket for them.
So you were running that money because he would
So
told us
we were
that.
running because we was going to the San Francisco Library,
Yeah.
taking hand over fist of money. We were selling T-shirts, bandanas, and everything. But there was there was the dudes that was gonna rob us,
Yep.
right? And we had our Usos behind us saying, "Nah, you ain't robbing us." So we knew that everybody. First of all, Brandon and Mike were in safe hands. They had a spokesperson.
Yeah.
Where I was gonna sell it. I was like the sales dude.
No Mike.
No Mike. I was
Mike.
the loudest one there.
Yeah.
That's why it's different because,
Yeah.
you go to the KMEL events, everyone has a PA system. Everyone's talking. Cisco was doing it from the top of his lungs over
Wow.
whatever's happening in the parade.
Because I
crazy.
felt like if they didn't hear me, we wasn't gonna sell shit.
Exactly.
Right.
So if they heard me, we was gonna sell everything we got. Every parade we done, every podcast fight we done, sold out every time. And I'm telling you, that got us because that got my trust into Brandon and into Mike to say, okay, we could do this.
Yeah.
Fuck these 9 to 5s. And I'm not saying, look, kids, don't go quit your job if you're in a job. You need your 9 to 5 to fund your 5 to 9. So that's just a little dime right there. But I'm saying,
Hey, real quick though, this motherfucker is spit, dog. And don't worry, guys, I'm not gonna quit. So I got insurance.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry about it.
but I'm saying if you don't go take a chance on your passion
Yes.
and what you want to do for a living that you love. I've never worked a day in my life since I left that Comcast job.
Let me ask you a question. So they saw your star quality. They saw the talent. They saw the power. When did you see it?
I still don't see it. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm not being modest.
That's
I
why
still don't
we've
see
been talking
it.
for the last 40 minutes, dog. And you know what? I have to say, this is crazy because when I was trying to do my research on you,
Yeah.
I looked for interviews
Yeah.
with you, articles.
Yeah.
There's nothing. This
And
is your
there's a
first.
reason.
Is this your first time?
This is the first in depth. Because I
You
never
heard it here first.
Shout out FREE99 podcast. But the reason
Exclusive.
everyone always wants my full story, and I always tell them like this. I said it's not about me. It's about what we're doing. It's about everybody else around me. Let's just get this. Everybody eats.
Yeah.
So why, if I make this about me, now I feel like I'm selfish.
Right.
Because I feel like I made this about me. I'm a Leo, that's my trait. That's just my how we do it.
Yeah, my ex is a Leo.
But but I'm saying if I sit this and made this about me, why would I sit there and want to rah-rah myself? You know what I mean? I want to sit there and make sure that we stay consistent and we keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's not about me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like Mike said this that everybody eats. He was like, it's not about me. I would make as long as all my friends and family are eating,
Yeah.
everybody eats. We're here. Brandon's the same way.
Absolutely.
So we could sit there and go in depth about ourselves, but it would just sound like I'm sitting there bigging myself up every 5 minutes. I did this, and that.
Here's the thing. We had
Yeah.
Mike Sands
Yeah,
on here.
absolutely.
We had
I seen
Brad
it.
on here. We went through their origin story. We highlighted all of the struggles,
Yeah.
right? All of the questions that they had in themselves. And what this does is it basically helps others who suffer through the same thing.
And that's why we do it.
Yeah.
The reason I do it is because there's a lot of Polynesian kids out there that are at that fork in the road.
Right.
They're at that fork in the road. It's like, okay, if I can't make it in football, what else is there for me to do?
With you,
right,
just by
yes.
doing this, right? Think
Yeah.
about that. Everyone's action resonates throughout. right?
Absolutely.
Just like the people in New Zealand,
Yeah.
saving lives.
Absolutely.
Right now, by doing this podcast, you could have created the next Big Body Cisco.
And that's why I do it. I mean, all the time I always look, because I have kids. And I want my kids to come. Man, and I got grandkids. Shout out Ava, shout out Jalen. But yeah, I'm G-Pow right now. But
See, how the fuck does he make Grandpa sound cool, dog? I'm G-Paw. Damn, bro. How do I get in there?
the reason I do is because I have kids. I do. I mean, like I'm not gonna say I'm sitting here, I'm the best dad in the world. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, you know, I love my kids. I got baby mamas. You know what I mean? I'm that token who I got all these big. But at the end of the day, I take care of my kids.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I need my kids to kind of know my dad's doing what he has to do. So I tell my kids all the time, I said, you can do whatever you want, but you still need this 9 to 5. Like
Yes.
my kids are spoiled. They think they got it easy. Oh, dad made it doing
Pops got
nothing.
me. Pops
Nah. I spoil my kids, and I feel like this generation is spoiled anyway because they're not how when we was raised.
They don't have the toughness. They
No,
don't have
absolutely
that.
not. Because they got the
wherewithal.
CPS phone number, so fuck them.
They do also, yeah.
But I'm saying I got.
They can't call if we cut off their phone, though.
How I had that pride in making my mom and dad proud.
Yeah.
I have that pride in making my kids proud.
Yeah.
Only because I know they have to go through this shit growing up. They got to go through the trials and tribulations of, and I always say, fuck, they're gonna go to the club. There's gonna be a dude that they have to get into. When I grew up, I was gonna whoop their ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether I
You were
lost or if
that
I
dude.
won,
Yeah,
I was. You know what I mean? So I have a legacy to kind of say, okay, every time I have that situation where I could go left or right,
Yeah.
I think about my kids.
Amazing.
I think about my family because I'm like, I could easily knock this motherfucker out, but if I knock him out, I may not see my kids again.
Yeah.
So I just kind of keep that in my back mind where now I'm a public figure.
Yep.
Now I have a brand. Now I have too much to lose. So if I get in these altercations with people, I can't sit there and be the old Cisco because old Cisco would already had this fight, been in jail, through a window, whatever.
But shout out to the mob, though.
Yeah, you get the cousins to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You got shooters.
Now that you have this, popularity, now that you have this platform, all that's gonna tumble down for a mistake that you made by just talking shit and not doing what you should have done was right.
You become a bigger target, too.
Yeah.
And you're, because now, I still go to functions now where you have the drunk small guy that's like, fuck that dude, I'm gonna beat him up. I would easily go slap him, put him under the table, and then somebody will find him later.
Yeah.
Now I gotta, you wild boy.
Yeah.
You wild boy.
Now you
Funny
motivationally
guy.
speak to him. You're like, hey, brother.
Funny guy here.
I said, normally I would whip your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
But in hindsight, and give him a quick elbow, no, but
Quick elbow.
I gotta know that there's kids and there's people that, I mean, I don't, and I hate to say it like that because I know in our Polynesian culture, there's a lot of people that's banking on my downfall to say, oh, he's gonna slip up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that sitting there say, I'm cheering for this motherfucker because I hear people in prison that hit me and send messages and say, hey, we in the pen and we respect what you're doing for the culture.
Right.
And it means a lot because I'm not a kid that was raised in Samoa. I'm a kid that was raised in the Bay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in the Bay Area where
Little Lucas.
yeah, you know what I mean? And now I have to take that on my shoulders and kind of, I don't have no problem telling somebody, oh, I don't speak fluent Samoan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now that's looked at and frowned upon.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I figure if I tell them straight away, I ain't got to hide it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when I go to Samoa, of course, like when I do like interviews, they want me to speak in Samoan. I'm like Selena. I'll be like, nah, I say what's up to everybody. Hey, and I look in the camera. I was raised in California.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't speak Samoan fluently. It may be frowned upon by some, but my mom and dad raised us as English as our first language.
Exactly.
Throw that disclaimer in there, and you can feel good about anything you fucking talking about.
That's the thing, right? I think in terms of talent, in terms of charm, you've pushed it as far as you can.
Yeah.
And right now, what is pushing you past these 20 plus years is vulnerability.
Yeah, and I think vulnerability is huge because if kids watching what I'm doing don't see that I'm vulnerable, they'll think that it's all my wins that I'm broadcasting.
Nah.
All he does is win. Nah, I lose, motherfucker. There's a lot of times I lose.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught our last episode, but each one of us shit in each other's pants, dog. Yeah.
But I'm here to be vulnerable to these kids and say, look, all these wins you see on Instagram, all these wins you see on TikTok, the same number of wins, there's double that in losses that you don't see.
True.
Shit, that was a vibe real quick.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, hey, if you put that on your podcast, to shout us out, all right?
Justin got something.
Yeah, what up,
Justin wanted to share. What you say?
So
What you got, Justin?
I know there's been playing times in your life that were significant, and bro, you're still on the rise.
Yeah.
But I was always curious, is there one moment that sticks out where you're like, I myself, my brand has arrived. Like I am getting there.
It goes back to my mom, bro.
Wow.
We did Island Reggae Festival at Great America.
Yes.
Great America. Shout out Danny. Rest in peace to Danny.
Rest in peace.
But my mom, for the first time, came to the show.
Yeah.
And it was her birthday. And it was at Great America. And it was sold out. 8, 9, 10,000 people. And this was our second or third year. And my mom was like, man, this is what you do for a living. I brought my mom on stage.
Wow.
And I had 10,000 people sing happy birthday to my mom.
Did you cry?
No, I just kind of soaked it in. My mom cried, and my mom was like, "Hey, don't do that." I almost pissed myself. You know, just she didn't know. She wasn't used to being that many people.
Yeah.
But that moment for me was to kind of show my mom was like, "Wow."
That was your high school graduation.
That is your college graduation.
That was like
Because that for me was like, "Mom, I did this," and she said, "Son, fuck the graduation."
Yeah.
That right there made me proud. So she's like my mom now. She's the most proudest lady out there. Oh yeah, you know my sons. He's going to New Zealand. You know she's the Facebook queen.
Yeah.
She'll sit there. Oh, go watch his podcast. You know he got Jesse Sapolu from the 49. You know Jesse. My mom is my biggest fan.
Yes.
That's the
And
best.
It's
That's the
crazy
fucking best.
because the flip side to that, my dad growing up, he raised us with an iron fist.
Yep.
So when the older my dad gets and the older we get, you know, the conversations are a little bit nicer because, you know, we're so scared of our father because he used to beat our ass.
Right.
I mean, to the point where it was like, okay, CPS, where the fuck you at?
Oh,
But
for real?
To the point now where it's like, you know, my dad sees his grandkids, sees his great grandkids. And when I go to my dad and my sister goes, oh, hey, Dad, Cisco's in New Zealand. My dad will sit there and shed a tear like, man, our son's doing it. So then when my sister was like, bro, Dad cried when he found out you were in New Zealand. I'm like, damn. So that came because my sister showed my dad a billboard I was in Vegas for the Palms. My sister took a picture of me on the Palms billboard,
Classic Salote.
sent it to my dad, and my dad goes, where's that at? She said, Dad, Cisco's on a billboard in Las Vegas. And he said, what? She said, my dad cried. And that moment right there was like, wow, that was like, I made it.
Did you cry?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's because we live for making our parents proud.
Yes.
Because those times when my mom's talking about me, when my dad's sitting out there, because so my dad just recently, I flew him out to Samoa to go be with his family for his birthday.
Flew him out.
Major.
And normally,
Flew him
back in the
out.
day, you don't have those funds because, you know, just like the Philippines, the trip out there, that's a couple racks.
Yeah.
Were you-
And they gotta come back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Were you like sponsoring the airlines or something?
So
That's top tier right there.
And it's crazy because I was actually able to kind of tell my dad, he was, oh, I'm supposed to meet my brothers and sisters in Samoa to talk about some family stuff, but it's cool. I probably won't make it.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that. I'm doing good right now. I said, Dad, I'm gonna buy you a ticket. He said, no, don't do that. So I kind of got with my brother. I said, hey, we gotta send Dad to Samoa. You know, and all of our life is lifing.
Life is life.
So I was like, nah. I said, you know what, bros, don't even trip. I had a good show. You know, I had a couple shows. I'm gonna send Dad to Samoa. So we sent my dad to Samoa. Had the time of his life. He ain't been back to Samoa in 20 years.
Yeah.
When he visited his dad, his grave, and he was just to kind of be there. You know, my dad ain't. So he came
crazy.
back. I got hired to do a show in Samoa with Common Kings, and my mom was like, oh, are you gonna have a good time out there? And I said, Mom, the money I'm gonna get paid from this Common King show, I'm gonna buy you a ticket. And she was like, for what? I said, I'm gonna take you to Samoa with me. And she was like, well, nah. So my mom just got over breast cancer too.
Shout out to
Mom's had her
Fuck
breast
cancer.
cut off and everything. Shout out my mama. I'm a mama's boy. And I said, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a ticket to Samoa. She's like, nah, it's too much. I said, Mom, I'll make the money back. I'm not gonna make this experience with you
Yeah,
back.
you can't buy time.
So she said, you sure? I said, I'm positive. You know, I don't care if I had, one thing about me and one thing about Polynesian, we'll go to our last dime or last penny to make sure that our parents are happy.
Yeah.
So my mom leaves for
Shout out to
Samoa
Mom.
tomorrow.
Wow.
And I'm gonna meet her out there on Monday. And just to kind of be in Samoa with my mom is a full circle moment for me to be like, man, I brought my mom out here. We're on the islands, my brother out there in Samoa. And that, you know, just God forbid anything happens to my mom, I have that memory.
Yes.
And the dope thing about podcasting is when we get back from Samoa, I'm gonna have my mom as a guest on my podcast.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
You never
So,
know.
and I'm gonna talk to my mom about how, you know, we were raised and everything like that because my sister, shout out my sister Salate again.
Dude, I love Salote.
She said, you know who should be your next guest? And I'm thinking, you know, because I had a lot of dope guests on my podcast.
I just want to confirm. Yeah, you did.
So
yeah,
I'm
you
thinking,
do.
Yeah.
who? I'm thinking my sister's gonna say somebody like that I haven't had no reach to. She goes, you should have Mom on the podcast.
Wow.
And I was like, oh shit. It just kind of hit me. I was like, you're right. Because my mom, where I get my talking from is from my mom.
Yeah.
So she's gonna talk her ass off on there.
Yeah.
She's gonna be shy at first.
Yeah.
But to kind of have that, I said content is key, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, God forbid anything ever happens to our parents, that content will live forever.
Ever.
Is she also like pushing a mixtape or something?
I actually have a mixtape coming out in 2024, but my mom's my biggest fan.
That's amazing.
And
man.
you know, just sending my dad to Samoa, and he's back now, and going with my mom to Samoa. It's like, come on, that's like some movie shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like at the end of the day, that graduation didn't mean shit to what I'm here with today.
Absolutely. It's
Tenfolds.
Yeah.
It's do you consider yourself like the black sheep of the family?
No, not really, because I was the oldest.
Maybe,
So
maybe like the gray sheep.
I'm more like the red sheep.
Oh, you really sticking with that Beelzebub? and that's the thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's when you believe in your passion,
Yeah.
and then now the people who matter the most to you can see it.
Yeah, and you said passion. I think a lot of kids this day and age have accessibility to their passion.
Yes.
When we were growing up, it was kind of a tall tale. It was kind of like out of our reach. I feel like it was.
Yeah.
But I feel like now with everything being so accessible with social media, if you use social media for the right things in the right way, it can really expand your brand
Exactly.
worldwide.
If
But
it's
if you use it
authentic.
for evil,
Authentic.
sliding in the DMs and doing
Shit.
Yeah, I don't get DMs like that. People try to sell me fake sneakers and shit. It's kind of weird. Our DMs are different, obviously, but
But we talk about it. Life is life.
life is life.
Absolutely.
This world is going through a crazy time right now.
Fucking wild, dog.
And it's crazy because everyone's talking, well, what's your thoughts on everything that's going on? I said, look, bless everything that's going on in the world. All I really worry about is my immediate family,
Yeah.
my kids, and what I can control.
Yes.
Exactly.
I can't sit there and know who the next president is going to be. I can't sit there and know what war is going to. I can't stop none of that.
You can't stop trains. With
Exactly. I mean, and shout out everything that's going on with all my Palestinian brothers, because I do have a
Love to
voice.
everyone. Love.
Yeah.
Because
Love.
you know I grew up with a lot of
Free
Palestinians,
Palestine.
and you know, and I got a lot of
Habibi.
Jewish friends. So you know, I'm in the middle of that, but I'm not going to change anything. All I can worry about is what I can control.
Yeah.
And what I can control is taking care of my kids, taking care of my immediate family. At the end of the day, Filipinos, blacks, Latins, Samoans, Polys, Tongans, we can take care of our family.
Yes. And you know what's right from right and what's
Shout out
wrong
to
from
White's
wrong.
toe.
Yeah, and shout out to whites too. See,
Yeah, my best friend's white,
shout
right?
out to decision makers
My
out there
best
too.
friend's my best friend.
I love this. I love staring deep into your
Yeah.
eyes and shit. I'm sorry, Jan. Do you have any last words? We have to end it.
Yes.
As we're ending, because we need a part two.
Come on,
We
Jan.
need a part two.
Jan's my brother.
Maybe we
Hey.
do a part two at Secret Pizza.
Yeah, come on.
There's a lot of history right now. Jan, please.
What's up, Jan?
I just wanted to say thank you for not killing Rommel. That whole thing was my idea,
You know I got more kids than you, right, Jan? Yeah, I'm just saying.
and also not flipping the table because our mics are expensive.
Yeah.
We had a residential. If it was in a commercial, it might have been different.
I just feel like I'm lucky to be a witness to all that you've accomplished.
Yeah.
I remember coming into the office with Mike and Brandon.
Yeah.
And you were there, and one of the first things that they told me was like, Cisco is here because he quit his job.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that always like struck a chord with me, and I was like, oh, you could do that kind of thing. You
Yeah.
could make that decision, and like witnessing like all that you've done like throughout the years that we had an office together. And I remember you were like worried about your blue check,
Yeah.
and I knew you before that, and I was like,
The blue check on Instagram?
Blue check
Yeah.
on Instagram.
It was a big deal.
yeah, it was like something that you worked very hard for,
Yeah.
and I remember you were talking to me about that. And also I saw you like spend like nights alone, and when I'd leave the office,
Yeah.
it'd be like, oh, Cisco's about to do a show, like
Yeah.
I gotta go. So, but then I would always like wonder and like and see you like kind of like honing in like your skill and making
Yeah.
it better. And sometimes like I would kind of like sneak in and like help you,
Yeah.
like when what you're doing, like
Yeah.
kind of like put the backdrop up. And I remember Brandon brought you like that robot,
Yeah.
that could like that
Yo,
could,
you
like,
got a robot dog?
yeah, it was like it was like the pre like a preview to like your podcast.
Yeah.
And and here's the thing, like it's surreal like having you here, because I always told you like when you do get that podcast, like I wanted to be your Jamie.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of disappointed that we had to kind of like leave that office.
Yeah.
So then when I saw you like break out with your podcast, I was super excited.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
I was like, man, I love this. You know?
Yeah, took a chance.
Yeah. And I think that also like affected me in wanting to be a part of this podcast. Because that kind of opened up, that, like a door or like an idea, like in me. So I just wanted to say, we're blessed to have you here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you,
Honestly,
Jan.
yeah.
Thank you.
That was also the most Jan has ever spoken in a year, dog.
Yeah.
Shout
for
out
real.
Jan, man.
Shout out Jan. God.
Jan seen me in the office. I was by myself, and there was nights where he was picking up lights and doing stuff for Brandon, and I was in that office alone, game planning for the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, what can I do that's going to separate me from everybody else?
Right.
And people know that I moved to Vegas,
Yeah.
and I'm telling people I was complacent in where I was at. When I was in the Bay Area, I was complacent.
Yeah.
I kind of did everything there is to do.
Too comfortable.
I kind of had the popularity.
It's too easy.
With everybody in Vegas. I mean, with everybody in the Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said, if I don't change my scenery and if I don't change my comfort zone, I'm going to stay stagnant and do the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
So during the Twitch days,
Yeah.
there was an opportunity where I was living with my brother in his garage, and Franny and my brother KT out there in Vegas was like, dude, move to Vegas. You got to move to Vegas. Of course I'm scared, right?
Yeah.
I got my kids here. I got my family here. But if I didn't make that move, I would still be complacent and be in the same spot that Jan had seen me in when he left the office.
Right.
So you have to leave the home front and get out of your comfort zone to kind of excel in what your passion is. Because if you're gonna stay home, you have all the yes men. I'm not saying yes men to you guys, but at home you always have the guys that are gonna be your fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Oh yeah, that was tight.
Yeah.
If you go outside your comfort zone, and that was cool. Then you're like, okay, wait, what do I gotta do to make it cooler? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So when I was in the Bay Area, of course everybody's gonna be my yes man.
Of course.
Family, friends, oh, you doing it, you doing it. I'm like, am I really doing it? I'm not really doing it. You know what I mean? So when I had moved to Vegas, I said, I'm out of my comfort zone. I went to Vegas alone. I moved out there by myself.
Yep.
Wow.
And all my family. Mid-pandemic.
Yes.
Right when pandemic was about to start to be over. I mean, when I went out there, the strip was totally closed. It was like a ghost town, like
Yeah.
I Am Robot. That's how closed it was.
Yeah.
But when I went out there, it made me step my game up.
Yeah.
Because when I went there and seen Franny, I'm like, Franny's already established in Vegas.
Yep.
How do I make my mark? So I actually left the Bay Area to kind of say, hey, I'm gonna leave this island stuff. Franny, what's up? Let's do hip hop and R&B because that's where I come from.
Right.
Franny was like, dude, you're the biggest part of this island community that you're doing right now, and it's the biggest thing here in Vegas.
Wow.
Stay in that lane you're in because you're already up there.
Yeah.
And keep doing what you're doing. I said, all right, so we did one show, sold out in 15 minutes.
Jeez.
Ninth Island is Las Vegas. Vegas is my home now. I'll always be a Bay Area kid, but leave the forefront, leave the home, and leave your comfortability, leave the complacency,
Yeah.
and then see if you could be successful.
Right.
If you can't do that, and I'm not telling you guys to pick up and leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the Bay Area is always going to be here.
It will.
Oh, Cisco's always, no. I love the Bay Area, and I'm always going to be a Bay Area kid. But when I come back to San Francisco and I see the homelessness, I see all the bullshit that's going on,
changed.
I can't wait to go back to Vegas.
Yeah.
Because I know that I got to be, I'm always going. I got to be on a bill. My first goal was like to be on a billboard while I'm in Vegas within the next couple years.
Yeah.
I was on the Palms billboard. And now they're kind of okay, now I'm going to do this show with Sammy J at the Sahara. And I'm going to do all these different shows. Holo Holo Festival that's going to be out on there. So you always got to challenge yourself at the end of the day. If you don't challenge yourself, you're going to be okay with the yeses. You're going to be okay with oh, you're doing it. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it when I sit there and don't have to work and I'm making money in my sleep.
Yeah.
So with that said, I say follow your passions. Keep doing what you brothers are doing, FREE99 podcast, because you never know who's watching.
Yes.
It could be somebody that's behind that other side and be like, you know what? Let's put some money into this FREE99 podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out Dos Caras Tequila because they took a chance on me.
Exactly.
And thank y'all brothers for letting me be able to tell my story.
Justin.
Justin, give us the last words.
Yeah, Justin.
Bro, that shit was awesome.
This is why we have him here,
He
dog.
was just cooking the whole time. And I'm
you can't
like, just let him go, bro. But man, seeing that growth, like 20 plus years, bro, and still fucking climbing.
Man, you as old as you feel, right?
And fucking like, I don't listen to a lot of new heads, like as far as hip hop. But one dude I've been following is like D-Boy.
Yeah.
And then when I saw his post in New Zealand with you, and I was
Shout out
like,
D-Boy.
oh,
That's my nephew right there,
Dude, that's
man.
fucking dope, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, I rock with it. But yeah, man, much props. Thanks for coming.
Man, thank
And,
y'all, man.
Shout
Thank
out
you for
to
having
the
this
Wolfpack,
platform,
too.
man. Yeah, man. Shout out D-Boy. Shout out all the artists out there trying to make their lane. It's our time.
Yeah.
We have all the accessibility in the world. Social media, podcasts, anything you guys want. We didn't have that accessibility back in the day.
Hell no.
Every podcast that wants you to be a guest, go be a guest. Tell your story. Speak about your brand.
Spread those roots.
spread those wings. You know what I mean? Because you ain't gonna fly until you go up there and make sure that you want to be flying with the stars.
Rommel, what you got?
Man, take care of your tribe. Identify your tribe. You know, always be positive. It's the positive energy that pushes everything forward.
Yeah.
We're not over here dick riding. What we are doing is we're building a community
Absolutely.
of creators, and we are sharing the growth. And if you can't see that, you're not a part of this.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. Like I said, authenticity is what will push you to the forefront.
Man.
It's what creates success.
Because one thing about everybody's vision, you're gonna see the bullshit. Everybody can see shit, but you can see bullshit.
We can see it for sure.
And what you see in the authenticity you talk about is like they gonna know, okay, he's speaking some real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see these podcasts, they this could rah this rah. It's like you can instantly say, that motherfucker ain't living what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's what it is.
That's right.
Like,
Come on, Gus.
seeing.
Bring it.
I've been a fan longer than I've known you.
My brother.
You know what I mean? And watching you move and being on the right side of the table has always been a blessing with Cisco, and it's always been with open arms. Core memory I have was going to Minna for Halloween. I think it was Randall's birthday.
Man.
I think it was. Shout out to Randall.
Shout out to Minna.
Yeah, shout
Randall
out to
hates
Minna.
me, by the way.
Yeah, he loves you.
Yeah.
He loves you.
probably
Schroeder's, is that why?
That's probably why he's been lifting and shit.
Randall's like, Cisco fucked up my life. Like, god damn.
Core memory. It
You're
was
all right.
Halloween. I had the illest costume at 111 Minute. I was Rick Ross. I had a beard. I had a fucking gold Jabberwocky mask that looked like Rick Ross. So I had a big chain. I was getting all the attention. Midnight 12:30 hits. Cisco walks in. All in red, head to toe in red.
Was he riding a horse?
No. My accessory was this fake chain. His accessory was 2 fly females. He walked in with a 20-piece. I mean, 2 10s. He walked in with a 20-piece, and everyone stopped. You could almost feel the room shift energy and then just turn towards him. And I was like, who the fuck are you, Suge Knight? And he was
what
like,
was the
I'm
cost-
Big Red. I'm like, it's just a core memory of mine because
Big Red.
you couldn't help but to love him. Like you come in with an energy, and just watching you pave your way, watching you do you, betting on yourself.
Yeah, man.
You have been like, you're a peer, but you're still very much an inspiration to
Absolutely.
to what we do, and having you on has been something I've been bugging you for a long time,
Yeah.
and just catching the right moment, and just so thankful for you. You're out here to see family, and you're spending it with us, and it just means so much to me as a
Man.
brother that, you know, during COVID, I would check on you weekly.
Yeah, absolutely. The
when
text messages came in.
You got it, and I
Yeah.
was like, fuck. Like, you know, when no one knew what COVID was, he got it early, and I
Yeah.
would worry about this dude. I was like, hey, you good? You good? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. I'm feeling all right. It's kind of shitty, but just how genuine you are,
Yeah.
and how you live your truth, and, you know, you're doing a lot for a lot of people. When Justin asked you if you reached an aha moment and you said you haven't got there yet, that's why.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's why, because he keeps pushing himself forward, and, you know, I love what you do. I love you as a person.
Thank you, my
I
brother.
love what you do for the community, and
Yeah.
for me, and then it just means so much because I seen, like, as Jan did, early Cisco.
Yeah.
Putting in work, like free work. And I'm so appreciative for you. You
My
know
brother.
what I mean? You know what it is already.
Yep.
And I'm just so thankful that this industry is very gray.
Man.
And
It
we
can
know
eat you
this.
alive.
We
Yep.
know this early. Like, it's very gray. So there's very few people who will keep it 100 with you
Man.
all the time. And I have no doubts that this gentleman here will always keep it 100 with me and everyone out there, because he will not tell you what you want to hear. He'll tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to the morning message.
Come on. Love you guys.
Episode
Thank you, my brother.
197.
Episode 197. All right, Cisco, please share with us and any last words for the people.
Man, there's nothing like wasted talent. And if you have wasted talent, you're wasting your time. And I always say there's a lot of people behind this camera that's watching this and saying, should I take a chance? Take that chance. It's the shots that you don't take that you regret later on in life. And the reason I say that is to say this, is if you don't follow your passion, if you don't follow your dreams, somebody else is going to do it. Or somebody going to pay you to follow theirs. So with that said, FREE99 podcast, your boy Big Body Cisco. Keep following your dreams. Peace.
Episode 197.
Free T.
Big Body Cisco, baby, in the building.
Big Body.
What's up?
Hell yeah. My brother. Oh, shit. Thank you. Bro, my guy.
My guy.
Jam.